We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Imagine what would have happened if we hadn't attracted the magic we had back when we couldn't fathom life is a fantasy, not with the vanity, not the way it was back then. So I grab my pen and write it down like a scripture. Mr. Mystic, making hits for the misfits. The show where you don't know what you don't know when it's on again with Sean and Jonathan.
Welcome to Meta Mystics, where you don't know what you don't know. My name's Jonathan.
I'm Sean.
And today we have first of all, it is Wonder Wiz Day. So thank you everybody for joining in and everybody that is about to be joining in. This is going to be a fun, great time. And I'm sure it is going to be one to highlight. And it's going to be one that's going to trip people the fuck out. And that's all we're here to do. Welcome to the show, Ryan Desbien, and your partner.
Brandy Babian, yeah.
Brandy.
What's up, guys? How are y'all doing?
Good, man. Good to see you, man. We've been looking forward to this episode for a little bit now, dude. So we're really just looking forward to just hear you speak, man, and get any kind of insight that we can. You know, we're all into the psychic things and pretty much everything spiritual. And so, yeah, dude, we're just really looking forward to hearing you talk.
Man, I'm just going to start off by saying I can ramble. So I actually have notes. She's here to keep me on track. So my name is Ryan Davian. I am many, many things. But really within all this, guys, I just want to say how thankful I am to be on your guys' show. Dude, because you guys open up with a pseudo Willy Wonka Pure Imagination song, right?
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
You guys don't even know. It's like it's me and my wife's favorite movie of all time. I even talked about it at the Psy Games that a lot of the way that I'm an old school Willy Wonka. We love Gene Wilder, right? But the newest one where he's walking to the castle and you can kind of reverse engineer how he's thinking and seeing in that moment, man, is a lot how the psychic stuff works for me. And so
absolutely, dude, the imagination is huge. For sure, dude. Without the imagination, I feel like a lot of this would probably be impossible. You know, I feel like that is a key aspect. We were just learning about this in one of the last episodes. You know, the imagination is what allows you to see something, something that doesn't exist yet. You know, and so that's that's where the magic is. And so
manifestation of it, dude, for real. So obviously you guys can see in the background. I'm an old guy now, so I'm 40 plus, but I used to be a pro athlete in a handful of different things. If you guys are cool, man, it's easiest for me just to ramble in an origin story kind of way. So
yeah,
I'll
please, would love to.
Yeah, man.
Let's get weird.
Dude, trust me, it's gonna get weird. So long story short, my name is Ryan Dabian. I'm from Brighton, Colorado. Like I said, I'm a multi-sport professional athlete, raced a lot of motocross, supercross, arena cross, enduro cross, pit bikes. She's a national USA BMX champion for women, and both my kids are national BMX champions in their age groups. And I'm at least a state BMX, but I have all the motocross stuff. World long drive, dude. I guess I'm not trying to say this to necessarily gloat, but I'm just a busybody, dude. I don't stop humming or moving. I live off coffee. Dude, Dutch Brothers 911, extra sweet. Dude, that's where everybody needs to live.
The 911. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Right? But so long story short, and then I also have a human services, mental health, and counseling degree. So I actually am educated, believe it or not. I actually went back for my master's in teaching and just kind of decided to go a different career path. So kind of back to that origin story. So we were actually a therapeutic foster home. I grew up in a therapeutic foster home, which means that I was my parents' blood child. But I had about 3 or 4 folks with disabilities that were nonverbal that lived with me my entire life. And we even became a therapeutic foster home and we got married. So it's just, connecting with people treating everybody with unconditional positive regard and love, and just realizing, man, how blessed we all can be, man, because it can get a whole lot worse very quickly, and you just got to be grateful for every moment, right? And so within all that, my mom was a teacher, my wife's a teacher. Just as my dad works for the state of Colorado is what I'll say, and he in human services, so he gets back to the community, and it just is this family of like love and unconditional positive regard, man. Everybody's on the same boat. We're all human doing this for the first time, so you know you just gotta show a little bit of compassion, and just because I think differently doesn't mean I'm right or wrong compared to you. Just means that we have differences of opinion, and we got there different ways, right? And so kind of go through my childhood growing up like that. I can stop on my first conspiracy stop in elementary school. I know for a fact I was part of the GATE program in the 90s, maybe late 80s. I was for sure screened by the folks at Cole Elementary in Broomfield, Colorado. Principal Ray was the principal, and I went through that program. Mrs. Conyers or Mrs. Blakemore to Mrs. Conyers, which was 3rd to 5th grade. And my mom was actually a teacher at the school. And I have this whole big backstory, man, I can remember everything about it from the Zener cards. And I have like niches when I do my psychic stuff now that I remember back to those moments.
So you actually remember a lot of that, because what I hear from a lot of kids.
So I don't want to get into like lore because I don't know, right? Like we're talking, I was a young kid, but my mom was a teacher at the school, and actually where they would do the pink drink or the tablet. So let me back up a little bit. So in Cole Elementary, you had like, you would walk in the main entrance and they'd have one wing that would go to like the young kids. Then you'd have another wing that would go to most of the elementary. Then you would go down a hall to basically the lunchroom and then the library. And they were basically next door to each other, right? And they made up this longer corridor of the school, right? And so, long story short, you would do the testing in the library, and then you would come back out and get the pink drink in the lunchroom, right? And so, long story short, my mom's classroom was in the lunchroom, so she always knew when the testing was going on, because she would then, she just was right there. She always knew, right? And so. Long story short, I can remember going in there and doing the Zener cards, word puzzles. I would blow them away. Tanagrams, right? Tangrams. So they would have you do these tangram puzzles, but I could get them to stack on each other and make 3D images, and that blew their mind, right? And so, instead of having one make a shape, right, you would use 4 to make it a square if it was a square, right? And so. Or you could do 6 and make it like a full 3D and build off of it, right? And so I remember the dude just thought that was amazing. I go through this, it just ends up ending in 5th grade, no rhyme or reason. They have like a meeting about it that I remember my mom talking about. Just kind of ended. I actually got so I'll say this I don't have any idea. I don't remember the person's name. I just, it ended about 5th grade. So I was old enough to remember what was happening, but I don't remember every specific detail.
He can tell you what the person was wearing going down the hallway, but he does not remember names and numbers.
Yeah. So, so this is like back in the 90s before cell phones, or, if it was either in your car or you didn't have it in your home, right? Like block cell phone days. So long story short, you would meet places at like meet people at public places, right? So this trainer I don't want to say trainer, he was a tester. Met us at like a local grocery store called King Supers in this town I met in. And he actually gave me this $2 bill with writing on it, basically saying, continue to go. And whatever, I was in a lot of different sports and stuff, but never really had that kind of an interaction. And my mom was there, like my mom was present for all of it. But I got this like weird little thing from this dude that I have like, and nothing negative. Like I have no negative memories of any sort of like torture or anything like that. It was mostly just like them doing the Zener cards, knots, puzzles. There would be sometimes smell tests, the tangrams and these like rubber band things, and you'd have to solve these. It was mostly just puzzles, right? And so in that 5th grade, when they actually ended the testing, it went to more of like, instead of the GATE program, it went to more of like what they have now, where it's more like STEM stuff. So instead of having this tester guy, you would have like a para that would work with you, and you would meet in these small groups, and then you do like business stuff for, or go meet with the community. And that's when I dropped out. You know what I mean? Like, I go put me back with the weird stuff. I like doing that, but I don't want to know anything about politics. That's not what I'm about. So, you know what I mean? So I actually went, going into middle school and high school, just kind of went through normal life, ended up being this action sports guy. Still went to school, had jobs the whole time, but also was a privateer racer, doing all this stuff. I actually met her in that process at the gym. We were both gym rats at the time. But we do like 10 years of racing. I am completely half bionic on my left side. So it'll kind of lead into one more thing. So my mom passed. My mom's a real huge influence on me. My mom actually died in 2015 of cancer. I have a brain aneurysm, but related to cancer. We knew it was coming. It wasn't completely unexpected, but it's always hard when it happens, right? It actually happened in kind of an abrupt way, which is probably good. But long story short, my mom was just a big influence, right? And so my dad's a great guy. He's super loving. I got super blessed with a good family. Like, and although we always had these other kids, like everybody felt love. There was never just really great upbringing, right? Can't talk good enough about my parents, but my dad's very typical. He's very stick and ball sport, Kansas State champion of golf and football. And my mom, was definitely more metaphysical. I don't want to say she was psychic, because I don't ever know that was really part of it, but she really believed in like moms. And like minerals, and like, it's crazy, guys. I just kind of came across this. Where did I put it? Oh, right here. My mom had like a big amethyst ball that she would have, and I just remember seeing this with her. And my oldest son had a whole bunch of her stuff, and we ended up kind of sharing it all in this like cool moment. But I now have all of my mom's crystals like on my like main like studying or work desk. It's the thing that everybody sees in all the videos. I have like a table that I made to just do the demonstrations on. But long story short, my mom passes. It's kind of devastating. I'm still racing. Just to give you guys a good example of one last thing about my mom, because I just got to tell you. So, kind of, it's all kind of going to mesh together when it's all crazy now, but it'll all come together. So in the middle of all this, we're racing. So we're actually going to Vegas like 2 to 3 to 4 times a year, because we're racing. We go for this family reunion. We would go just to get away from everybody. And at this time, it was still like cheap enough to go, and there were still people in Vegas. But long story short, we would go and we'd race, and she got exposed to like racing for the first time by racing at the MGM back in the day in like 2008. Like that was her first exposure to Vegas, was like all these craziness racing in a stadium. And long story short, we have so much success in gambling in Vegas, man. My very first time I go on a cruise when I'm 18, I win the biggest jackpot you could win on this cruise boat that had gambling, and you could, in international waters, you could gamble at 18. I win this crazy amount. My parents are like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" Dude. And literally even like just this weekend, dude, if there was, okay, so the first like real big thing that we knew that there was a little bit of psychicness going on is, dude, I can gamble. And I don't know if this is a good thing, but dude, I am super successful gambler.
You got a great punch.
I grew up in a very conservative family. And like he said, I had never been to Vegas or anything. And I will never forget that first time he took me, and I'd seen the professional motocross he's racing. But pretty much the entire time, my jaw was like on the ground, because we would go around gambling, and he really doesn't do a lot of the tables. It's more like the machines. So we'd just be walking around, and he'd be like, "Okay, I'm feeling it on this one." I'm like, "Okay." 2 seconds later, jackpot. Then he's like, "Nope, okay, we're done with this one. Now we're going to this casino and this specific one." And like every single one we went to, and I was like, "You've got to be messing with me. This cannot be real." And he was like, "No, it is."
So what?
You might have to
Does it
Good.
just come
Really
to you
good till
like
have to put it on your
subtly?
tax, or like you have a really hot night and then you like make a really big mistake and you lose a bunch of it and then you still have to claim all that on your taxes. That's when it's
Right.
not so good. But
Yeah,
you
so
guys just use that, man. I can ramble.
no, that's okay. I was just wondering, whenever you get these knowings about which machine to go to, is it more like a subtle energy, or like, can you describe what's
Yeah.
going on inside to where you
Yeah.
have that gnosis?
100%, man. And let me tell one more little detail, and it'll totally lead into this, and it's all on the same track. So we do all this racing. She gets exposed to my weirdness right out of the gate. I mean, right out of the gate. But so there's all of my family. So we do these family reunions too, and there's like 30 people that come to these family reunions, and they literally would run like times on me because we would be so successful that like we would go until like 6 a.m. from like, I don't know, 6 p.m. And it would get to the point that like, and we'd want to have at least 2 people with me because who knows how much money we might have on us, right? And so it was always like my family members, like my dad would do it for a minute, but then he would get frustrated. He's like, why don't we just take the money and go? So then my wife would come out, we'd go for a little bit longer, we'd stack it up or lose it. But long story short, just everybody in my family seen it. Everybody in my race team saw it because they went to Vegas with me. Like everybody that knew me was like, you got a little bit of something, man. Nobody can deny that. Or you're the luckiest son of a bitch ever, right? Dude, I am the dude that won a car. I literally won a car. I am the dude that won a car.
And it is now the Ghostbusters Ecto 1.
It's
What?
true. It's true, dude.
Oh my goodness.
So I like if there, dude, I want to be the psychic that fucking wins the lottery. And this would be like, I won the side games, I won the lottery. What else do you want?
I want you to do that so I could be like, I know that guy.
Dude, I want
know?
that so bad. I just won the lottery, but I keep winning the lottery, right? But I don't win the jackpot in the lotteries.
Just the little ones.
Like enough to keep it rolling, but. So anyways, we have all this success in Vegas, right? And so my mom dies in 2015. Like I said, I'm still racing at this time. There's a championship race. It's literally a track that's literally within 5 miles of where I'm sitting right now. It's like right by my house. I actually live between a motocross track and a BMX racing track. So it's like prime territory. And I have a little bit of my own setup in my backyard. And so it's just a lot of action sports, right? And so this championship race is just down the road. It's a track I've ridden literally thousands of times. I'm in 4th place, and the difference of me making the top 3 could be the win, or if I get 4th place or worse, I fall back behind 5th or worse, and that's not even on the podium at the end of the year, right? And so a jump I've literally done 1,000 times. I just hit and I high side. So like if I'm heading towards you, right, I want to go off the jump and keep the bike going towards you, right? So I went off the jump and my bike got hit sideways and I landed like what's called high-sided. So I basically got thrown head first. Well, this side.
His whole left side of this body.
Just going about 45 miles an hour from about 30 feet in the air with a big 450. And I actually died. One of the funny things that happened when my mom passed is she actually died for 4 minutes. Me and my dad were there. They were taking her out of the room. And she got her pulse back, right? And she ended up living for like another like 15 hours for all the family to come, all the friends to come, and then she ended up passing. But it's just crazy, man. So I fall. There's this medic who also has passed, which is just not very cool. But this medic guy that was very, very known in this racing association I raced in called the RMXA. This medic named Joel. Shout out to everybody that knows Joel and miss you, man. This guy named Joel found me, and like me and him were friends on top of him being the medic, right? And so he didn't know what to tell my family. So he started like heading off my wife while they were trying to get me revived. I was actually dead for 4 minutes, just like my mom. I don't remember anything for about 2 weeks, off and on, little bits and pieces. I remember that I woke up and I remember telling them, like, you guys missed my leg. There's something completely wrong with my leg that you guys missed. And I ended up getting a plate in my leg after that. And but like so long story short, right, in this death experience where I almost died, I did die, but I came back. my mom is there, right? And my mom's signature move was to pull me around by my ear, even as an adult, as a high schooler, in front of my kids, she would do it. And so I would always tease them, I'm going to do it back to you, right? And so, in this near-death experience, dude, my mom kind of Ebenezer Scrooges me. First off, she gives me a mom lecture on the jump. I'm just on this track called IMI, and there's just one jump that's still there, and just there's nobody out the track. It's a sunny day, and she's just got me by the ear, lecturing my ass on this jump. Like, what are you doing? And then like there'd be like this intense like telepathy with my son, and like I was seeing my son cry, right? And then there'd be like this moment where I'm seeing the situation from my wife's view, and just seeing like and feeling her heart, and my dad and my whole race team, and like everyone was just like, whoa, you know, and there's this moment where like I'm getting all of this too, and it's like, what is happening, you know? And then my mom would kind of pull me away from that moment, and then it would be like kind of in the future of like, dude, if you become paralyzed, and I've had friends that have become paralyzed racing, and you know, and they're doing amazing, they're doing a great job, but I mean, it's just part of what happens when you do that kind of sport, and you know, you hope you're never on that side of it, right? But I get this big lecture about that. I kind of come back to the way I always describe it, right, is you can't really put toothpaste back in the bottle once you squish it out, right? So I feel like they're trying to put my soul back in. They're like, oh, it's not your time yet, but we're gonna just do our best to get it in there. You know what I mean? And so I kind of come back through, and so I've always kind of had this precognition, right? But I kind of come back with this even hyper sense of this like color overlay, and it's almost like if the only way I can describe it is I love sharks, and they are, you know, they're known for having like an electromagnetic field to them, and they can, and you know, it's not really echolocation, but they can just kind of feel the energy of things, and that's how they kind of get their depth. That's the best way I can describe it, guys. So I get like an energy or a color in my actual vision. So my actual vision 24/7, I get colors, and I'm also an artist, right? So I also have an industrial design degree from the Art Institute of Denver, in addition to the human services and mental health and counseling degree from Metro.
You just do all the things, dude.
Dude, I don't ever
stop impressive, moving. Man.
I don't ever stop moving, dude. And so like I have this like color, like I get regular color, but like I get these like yellows and blues and reds. And then when they hit me, they have emotion. And it's kind of like a Rick and Morty situation. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like when they do just the weird parallel things, or when he gets the crystal, right, and he follows the crystal, you just kind of get that Willy Wonka of knowing, well, if I go this way, that's likely what's going to happen. So, but if I go this way, it feels easier. I need to follow the flow, right? And so, long story short, we come back with all this overlay and pretty much hyper telepathy. And so I've always been a behavioralist. I'm actually in the process of becoming and getting a few more different things to do for different career paths. But
might as well just keep doing it. Keep going, dude.
You know? Yeah, right. I've always had this degree of like being able to communicate with folks that can't communicate, right? From childhood. It's just always been a part of the people that are in my life, right? And so in these hyper behavioral situations with like folks with like major mental illness, severe dementia, severe autism, like I actually just kind of, aside from all the crazy dirt bike stuff, right? I still have a family. I have 2 kids, obviously my wife and a family. So, you know, we're still doing the normal job on top of this, but I actually work at Brandy's school, actually in their autism for a couple of years right after COVID. But long story short, I'm doing all this behavioral stuff. I'm working in these behavioral facilities. I'm actually usually the crisis intervention person. Not only because I'm a guy and I'm pretty stocky and I can, you know, if people become aggressive, it's not as much of a bigger deal on me if it, you know, compared to 100-pound, you know, CNA or something. But on top of that, I was always just really good at reading nonverbals, being able to communicate with them with like a telepathy. And also they kind of knew that. So they knew when I would come in, they're like, oh, there's Ryan. All right, well, okay. Plus on top of that, like they would know that I didn't have the agenda of the teachers. I was there for them and I was going to do my best to help them navigate whatever this was over here, right? All the stuff that's making them upset. And so especially with the kids, that ability was something that was just, I mean, hey, I haven't let you talk. Just tell them about the school stuff. I mean, I had a nickname.
Yeah. So I am a 3rd grade teacher, and I work at a school that is preschool through 8th grade. And we have 3 different, we call them ILCs, which means intensive learning centers. And it is mainly for students with autism, some high functioning, and some other just behaviors. And so it is a classroom, but we also try to incorporate those kids as much into the regular ed classroom as possible. And so he worked in a position as a para where he would go to class with the kids and, just help keep them on track and be able to like communicate with them, like he was saying, without even talking. And so he was only just after COVID and just something different to try. And he was at my school for like a little over a year, and then ended up pursuing other opportunities. And people still today are like, but when is he coming back? Can he come back? We need him. He's the only one that can like get these kids under control, because it gets pretty intense when it's the behaviors. But since he has what he calls that like love overlay, and he only describes it to me as like colors, he can immediately see before anybody else can whether one of those kids is escalating, where other people can't see it, but he can like see it before it happens.
See it, feel it.
And then make sure to put whatever parameters in place so that it doesn't turn into a like full on blowout.
Yeah, a crisis situation.
And I think, these overlays, real quick, not to cut you off, these overlays, are they like you're seeing their aura, or is it just your whole field of vision that changes color? Exactly what
best
is
way I can describe it, dude, is like if you put on the old school 90s red and blue, like different lenses, and you just kind of get different color pops at different times, and different shades of that color hit different colors differently. And imagine that hitting you. Or a better way, guys, like, when you shut your eyes and you kind of rub them a little bit, you kind of get that mandala, hyper colored, kind of version. Well, imagine if everything you saw at pretty much every moment had like the outside of it kind of hit you with that kind of a flash, right? And then and here's the thing, guys, it sounds amazing on all this other stuff, right? But you can't really turn it off. So you can tell when people are, it's also the behavioral stuff, but you can tell when people are feeding you malarkey. You can tell when people are embellishing. You can tell if they have, I don't know that I could read your mind. I probably could. I could probably tell you what number you were thinking of.
Keep it open, dude. What I mean? Keep it as a possibility.
You know what I mean? But I could always read intention, right? And you were always reading intention, and that part of the behavioral stuff just always transfers over, right? And so, long story short, so we have all this background, right, of all these things, this near death, this upbringing with nonverbal folks my entire life. We had nonverbal folks, and we had some behavioral folks. So, you learn how to read people from the moment you even step in the room with them. I don't even have to know you. I already know where you're at emotionally, whether you're more likely to explode or not. If I could take it, no, just kidding. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're reading the Matrix, dude. You're reading through the code.
Exactly, dude. And and man, that's the thing though. But I'm just gonna tell you guys, I always like the weirder people, because the normal people just fade into the background for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And give me the ones that are a little bit more of a misfit, because they're going to be the ones that are more interesting to talk to. But
yeah, those are called muggles.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So long story short, right? And so we're claiming the winnings on our taxes. Everybody around me thinks that we're a little bit psychic, right? I'm going to go into one more thing before I get into the side games. Dude, you guys, I know you guys are going to appreciate this, but I have to say this. So we have orbs, and we've had ships, we have spirits, and man, I don't know if they follow me, or if they were following my mom, or if we were just more open to seeing that. Maybe a little bit of all of it, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And because, man, I could tell you guys some crazy stories. I know you guys saw the thing with Lights Over Loveland fairly recently, right? And
Shout out, he's the man.
In my backyard, and like that was only like a 3-hour period, guys. That wasn't even like a full night. And like we've seen the craziest stuff out here, guys. And like, I don't know if you guys know much of the lore with like Denver International, with like the gazillion underground bases or stuff, or
It's
lizard
the Illuminati.
people. Dude,
Yes.
and can I just tell you, that stuff is not there now. There is the lizard people signs there now, but the like murals and the weird gargoyles and all that was real, people. That we saw that.
Oh yeah, I saw it too. I actually, dude, I went up to one of the flight attendants or whatever, like not the flight attendant, but the person that's getting ready to check you in, like to get on the airplane. I was like,
Lucifer.
I was like, so what's really going on? You know, down below. And they're like, oh yeah, you got to watch out for them lizard people, like almost saying it jokingly. And I was like, I feel like you're feeding me real information, but through a joke, you know?
Dude,
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Let me just tell you the like real scoop from a dude that literally lives like 20 minutes north of DIA, to the point that like literally we have, what is it, United, Continental, and Southwest. We literally live in, and so like if coming towards you is north and this is south, we live like over here. And so when they come to land on the north pad, they'll fly over our house, turn around and land on this north pad, right? Mm-hmm. So we live out in kind of the sticks, you know, we live out by DIA, this airport. So that's how we have the land and stuff. So we know these flight patterns, right? Dude, we have seen so much crazy stuff. You guys have no idea. Like, Brandy, I won't even say, just tell any of them.
Well, because we're by the airport, like he said, we know the paths. It's weird because you can see, oh, yep, there's United's path. Oh, there's Southwest. And so we like to go out just because we have a lot less light pollution out here. And so we do a lot of sky watching, or, you know, just hanging out in the summer outside. And that, I think the coolest thing we've seen recently was somehow caught by Justin on the lights over Loveland, was those 4 orbs that just it was so fast. And
guys, here's what, like, I don't know if you guys, you know, I don't know if you guys have seen, in real life, what it looked like is it was these black things that looked like they were connected. And like, could they have been birds? Maybe, but dude, these would have been supersonic, crazy rocket birds.
No, it was so fast.
It was so fast. No possible way. It's and like we have birds, like we have owls. And owls look like pterodactyls. They have giant, you know, this was something like this big. I don't know. Anyways, she's right. That was just like a few weeks ago. We've had a predator ship, and I've been able to catch the predator ship on my iPhone. What is this, 15 Pro Max? I've caught it where it can tell the difference, and it looks like a V, but cloaked. And so you can only see like the silhouette outline of it, right? And so we were actually out there videotaping the Aurora Borealis, which dude, okay, I gotta make a social comment here. Dude, it was 72 degrees in February here in Denver today. And they're like literally this place caught on fire right down the street from us because we've had no moisture and it's been summer weather. Dude, it's nuts. And that's never been like that.
And we have never been able to see the Aurora Borealis. Yeah. And this year, there's been 2 times where we've been able to see it. And we're like, what is happening?
And so there's definitely something going on with that.
We're like videotaping this, right? And all of a sudden we see it. And so I finally catch it. But dude, we have these orbs that communicate with us. We can get them to stack on each other. Like we can ask, can you guys like, you know, line up for us? They'll either do the triangle or they'll do this like stacking thing. I mean, you guys kind of saw that one, but I mean, it's just, there's so much out here, man. We had a flying Ninja Turtle.
That was the craziest thing. It was like 4 p.m. We're like getting ready to make dinner, and he loses his mind and he's running out back and he's like, you have to come see this. I'm like, what are you talking about? So we go out there and it seriously looks like a person in a Ninja Turtle costume jetpack, just like hovering above our house. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. But like, and
definitely not like a Mylar balloon or like a birthday balloon or something like that, right?
I
know that was a silly question, but
I put all this stuff on my not my YouTube, but my social media too, so you guys can check it out. But there's other like square boombox looking ones that follow planes in all the time. it like makes me afraid a little bit to go out of DIA sometimes, because we're like, man, I hope we don't land on that north side, because I know what follows those in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video of like the 3 orbs doing the like triangle thing on the airplane and it disappears. Dude, there's square ones that follow them in. I have them on video. And so they're not like these things circling it, but like they're trailing it. I don't know what it is.
And there is like certain hot spots from where we stand. So from our backyard, where we seem to see a lot of them, are right in the Cassiopeia constellation. So if we just like gaze that direction, we see so many.
We see them come out of the Big Dipper's handle. That's the other main spot, is this Big Dipper handle. We can like in that same area of like Cassiopeia, right in our sky. It's kind of this northwest area, I guess would be the way to put it right now. But long story short, we just spend a lot of time outside, guys. Obviously, we got dirt bikes and bicycles. We camp. When you're racing at these places, you're usually hitting at the track and doing it all up. And so we just we're outside a lot. So we just I guess we're kind of connected with it. I would also say we're kind of connected with spirits a little bit. I don't know why, man. Even with like just regular people, everybody is attracted to us, and it's just I think we have safe energy, safe auras. Like we had I'll just you give any. I won't even say mine. Of the people that just like come up and talk to us.
We can be anywhere or everywhere. We can be at Target. We can be at Starbucks. We can be at Costco. And there's a bunch of other people around. And somehow people just always want to come up to us, strike up a conversation, ask us for help. So much so to the point that our kids are like, oh my God, are you guys ever going to stop talking? Why do you talk to everybody everywhere we go? And we're like, we are not initiating this. People come up to us.
We had a dude just like, and like it was cool, it was fine, right? But we had this dude just like latch onto us for like a half day at Universal. Like just like his wife couldn't make it. It was Halloween Horror Nights, right? And so his wife couldn't go, but he didn't want to not go, and he thought our family was cool, and we like accepted him. And he just did half a night with us. After that, he's like, "Oh, I gotta go. My wife's wanting to see me." And so
they
like,
say your vibe attracts your tribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
It's what's happening.
I think it's just open, right? And we're just like, if you need it, hey man, my oldest son, he needs a person to ride with. Let's do it. You know what I mean? So, so all this just backstory, right? And so, Emmy Bledsoe puts out a thing on one of her social medias about the Psy Games. I think Dana put out one as well about the Psy Games being like the first ever Psychic Olympics, or like the Hunger Games of the Psychic Olympics or something like that, back in like April of last year. So I'm like, I have my trainer Cheryl and my wife Brandy, who are my two main supports other than my dad. And so I come like running into Brandy. I'm like, okay, I have this proposal. What do you think? Should we try for this? Like, because like I was afraid, man. I was honestly afraid because like we live in Colorado. I have this professional career. I have sponsors at this time. I still have sponsors, but they don't care as much now because I'm old. But at that time, I still had some sponsors last year, and like it would be kind of a thing to like leave and go say, hey, I'm going to go be psychic. And the motocross crew in Colorado is very accepting. They're very cool. I've not encountered too much, but the motocross community in general is pretty conservative, very Republican churchy, right? And that's cool. Like that's, once again, we accept everybody. We don't judge, right? But that's just not what we do. So, and that's cool. I mean, I think Colorado in general is like that. But man, there's, and it's not all been like that, is what I'll say. It's not all been that. So coming out and saying all this was kind of a big deal to this community that I'm a part of. So we start just like documenting everything we're doing the moment that we even see the Psy Games, right? Because we're like, okay, well, we'll fill out the application. We'll see what happens, right? And so we fill out the application for the Psy Games. Within about 2 weeks, I get told, hey, you guys are going to be doing all these. If you want to be considered, you have to go through these tests, right? And so you have 14 days to complete at least 15 runs or like sets of these different games that we're going to have. And then that's how we'll decide if you make the games or not. Right. And so the leaderboards alone were 15. Right. And I think they were usually looking for that top 3 or top 5. Right. And so I decided, all right, well, I'm just going to shoot for the stars. I'm going to test for all the games. I ended up like either being first, second, or fifth in all 5 games, like for the entirety of the testing. And I even held those scores through the beginning of this year. And I lost them to some other good perceptualists, so it's cool. If I was going to lose them to other people, I'm glad I lost it to those folks. But so we all go through these tests, right? Everybody that's in side games goes through these tests, and so that way, when you go to the side games, you can be like, look, well, this guy went through these tests, put on, I think it was either by Weird Technologies or Monroe, are the ones that actually kind of came up with the games that were the testing. One of those 2 consciousness providers. But long story short, so that way they would have a backlog of saying, okay, well, look, this guy tested just like this. This is the test. That's pretty much psychic. So here's his backlog of the testing. We've proven it. And so we do all this testing. I ended up being top 3, top 5. I ended up doing a face-to-face with one of the folks from the side games to do like an intro video. So I find out I'm at least in after that. I don't know what games I'm doing. I just know I'm in, right? And so I come out with my video. It's like June at this point. I tell everybody, I start posting all of my trainings. So that way, like, cause I kind of knew in my heart, like if I go and this is real, we're going to go and show. Like, I know the precog's going to be in enough. We're something notable will happen where I can come back and say, hey, I did this. And I wanted people to see like we were training. Like it wasn't all just like luck either. And so let me back up one more time, because this is also important to how this kind of all comes in, right? And so I'm in this long-term care setting in 2020. I see just a ton of death, right? To the point that these people I had in my life for a long time had passed. And it was just, it went from being like in my entirety of being at this place, it was like 3 rounds of people that you get to know, and then they just kind of roll through, and then that's just kind of process, to like 10 rounds in 2 weeks, right? And you're just and they're not letting people see their families. You're having to do these like window visits. It's just horrible, right? And so I just can't take it anymore, right? And so I do all this hyper meditation too. So I guess where I'm going with all this is I think that your soul has dynamics, right? And that's how like energy can be stored into items, into minerals, into having a spirit, right? Your emotions, your energy, right? And I can see this in people. I physically die. I know that death is real. I see it literally, dude, like 3,200 times in my life, probably bedside for about 300 deaths, like at the moment of their last breath. And once again, I'm happy that was something I got to do for those people, because man, if you're gonna want to have somebody by your side, have the telepathy, dude. They can make sure your mouth sweat, you're comfortable, your everything's as good as it can be.
Somebody that's
so I'm glad I was able to
connected.
do that, but that weighs heavy on me for a long time, right? And so we come out of 2020. I actually get injured at her school. I kind of have a mini meltdown. I go into this hyper meditation mode. I also am injured at this time. I made just a selfish decision to race in Utah in a blizzard. Ended up putting my femur in my nutsack. You guys said I could cry, like totally, dude. I have pictures of it. It's pretty impressive actually the way it ended up, and like I was still like conscious, but like
we're gonna need to see that,
right? Yeah, so, a picture
after the show.
Right, and so like here's the thing, though, dude. So like you're like stuck in this position because you're like, okay. So here's the whole thing. So I'm in this. There's this thing called arena cross, right, which is like small stadium racing, right? I am like second. And I'm in my I'm almost turning 40, so it's like my last year of being in like the big boys group, right? Until I go to the vet classes. But I'm in this, right? And so I travel in this worst storm, this blizzard, on like semi-bald tires with $15,000 of motorcycles and like a $2,000 trailer on this like back of my Dodge Nitro, right? Just bad decision from the start.
It's just all wrong.
Dude, yeah. And so just bad decision from the start, but like my ego, like straight up, my ego was like, you're going to go get this championship, right? I go Friday night. I win both my classes. I win first place. So I'm like, yeah, I made the right choice. This was right. You got this in the bag. I am like second to last race on Saturday night, championship night. Friday night did not count towards the championship when I won. It was just basically like a exhibition pre-race to the championship. I can cuss, right? Fucking goddamn it! The starting gate, this dude takes me out. I do a front flip into the stands in Utah. I am by myself in a blizzard. That's when my hip actually got like jacked up and like pushed into me because I actually flew like into the bleachers and my bike was like on the side, right? And so I'm stuck in this position, like and like I'm like having to get off the like track. And it's just so bad. And like, I'm alone. Right. And so luckily, the moto crew is usually pretty cool. They helped me make sure that I got my bike back in my truck. So my gear was in there and it was so cool, dude. Cause the moto community is such a cool thing. Cause the ambulance driver for these events are required to have ambulances by insurance. Right. So long story short, this guy waits till all the races are done. And I told him I cannot afford, dude. I couldn't, right? I couldn't afford to go in an ambulance. I'm like, can you just drive me? And the dude totally just drove me in my truck. And so I end up having some stuff that I do in Utah. It costs so much money because my insurance didn't like that. And my dad ends up having to fly out to come and get me. And we're still in a blizzard and it's still on bald tires. And now we're having to go back and I'm like kind of drugged up and it's just all this bad situation, all this ego. This was the last time I think the ego, I've been pretty good with my ego sense. I'm still a little bit full of myself, but that was the last time I was like, this like motocross stuff is so important that I'm going to risk my life to go do this. You know what I mean? And so anyways, my dad comes back and gets me. We have all this like knowledge now of like how to like harness pain. I guess the whole point of telling you guys all this is that I had to sit before I even got to the emergency room because they still had to finish the races and the guy had to be cleared to go, right? So all the racers, and of course somebody gets hurt at the last race and is in the thing with me and requires the ambulance. So luckily I'm not going to lie. I was friends with the guys that promoted it, right? Like it was a crew that would travel. So I knew the guy that was the promoter and he knew me and I knew all the photographers. So like, it wasn't like I was alone, but like I was alone, right? Like nobody was going to go with me to the hospital. And so long story short, I learned all this stuff. I learned how to like separate my consciousness from my body for pain. Between the injuries of like a month and a half of rehab, from all the stuff on my left side to the hip, to every shoulder, every wrist, basically most bones, like short of an Evel Knievel type situation, you just learn how to separate it, right? And what's always been important to me too, dude, is like even some of her family races and used to even race on my team with me, they've actually had some bad experiences with like painkillers, right? And so I would never want to be a part of that, especially being a moto dude. Like that's pretty common. So I would just not take painkillers. And I just learned how to like basically kind of like astral project myself through getting all this pain. Right. And so I have all these new tools, right? Kind of with all this stuff is I guess what I'm trying to say. So we sign up for side games. We find out we're in. I'm also racing bicycles. I got to tell you one really quick cool story, and then because I've already told a bunch, but I'll make it real quick. So we have to do a face-to-face with Akeem Isler, who's the guy that puts on the side games, right? Super well-known guy, was on Naked and Afraid, very known very known in the side community, like super established, cool dude, like military, like psyops, like dude's legit, right? So you can't get past this dude. And so he's actually doing these face-to-faces with folks that say they can do what's called mind sight, right? Which is the ability to see through a blindfold or see through these specific masks, right? And so I'm like, you got it, dude, you got it. Yep. So we're like, I'm like, literally, we're in this championship race. It's this thing called Gold Cup. It's something my son had won the year before. I'm in the mix for it, right? So I'm actually like, and bicycle motos go way different than like motocross. It's just lined up and you're just racking them up going, right? And so it lines up perfectly to where I'm supposed to be on this call to where I'm on the gate. They like, Brandy's on the phone, like Hakeem's on the phone, they're doing it. Like I'm on the gate, like on the like gate ready to drop. The guy's like, you want me to do it? What do you want me to do? I'm like, just drop it and I'll go, right? And so I end up literally racing to the bottom. I end up getting second. I don't even like stop to get my trophy or the ticket to get your thing. And
I grab his bike. I grab his
I just run over to start doing the mine site. Literally, I'm all sweaty. I just like jump in. I'm like, all right, let's go. and dude, and this is kind of weird too. I definitely affect electricity when I get pissed. I wish I could say I can affect it when I get all happy and joyful. It's usually just being pissed. But I think it was also just because it was adrenaline. I jump onto this thing with all these like Dahlia's on there, all these other practitioners of mine site. I blow up the internet. Everybody gets kicked off because I jumped on. And so we all have to get back on. I finally have a moment to be like, oh, I got my trophy. Sorry, guys. You know what I mean? And like, or like, all right, back to business. You know what I mean? So just, I don't know, man. I'm all over the board. I'm crazy. We get the final, you're in. We find out that they're going to let me. So just for the record, I tested into all 5 games. They let me compete in 3, which was still pretty, I very much appreciate that. I did not get to do remote viewing or dowsing. I had the number 1 testing for dowsing, but I didn't get to do that game. But I ended up doing, so that there was 5 games. There was dowsing, mind sight, psychokinesis, which is the one I actually won. Remote viewing, dowsing, psychokinesis, mind sight, and precognition. And so I ended up getting second in precognition. I think I lost to this guy named David Tran, and we literally were battling. And so, like, I just got to tell you one other story, dude. I've been like the Happy Gilmore of the psy community from the beginning. Like, I've only really been a part of it now for about a year. Like, I'm still getting to know everybody. I'm kind of learning. There's some legacy stuff, I guess would be the way to put it, and there's some newer stuff which maybe I'm a part of. But I'm definitely the Happy Gilmore dude. I go into this thing, I blow it all up with the mind sight. Dude, they have the Chris Bledsoe. Okay, so I am so good at getting ahead of myself. So we go to Psy games. We end up finding out we're going to do psychokinesis, mind sight, and precog, right? We go to the Psy games. Brandy has never been exposed to any of this. She comes from a very conservative Christian family. So this is Brandy's first exposure to any of this stuff, right? And so we go Thursdays, what I call the track walk. We see the main ballroom. We see all the other rooms and all the other vendors and presenters and teachers and all these other things. It's basically this whole side of a hotel, right? Like a whole wing and all their ballrooms, all their stuff, right? And so we go see it. We because I'm not gonna lie, man. I was honestly a little bit of afraid that we were gonna spend all this money to go to this thing. There's all this testing, and maybe it was gonna be like a rec center with some older people and some notes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying,
we did not know
what to expect, right? And so we get there, and it's the total opposite. It's basically like Contact in the Desert or Comic-Con or a big convention. Very well put together, super cool. Lots of stuff going on. There's itineraries, and then all of a sudden, so we do the track walk. We meet Hakeem. We see the stage. We see all the electronics. So the training for psychokinesis was all done on the computer, right? So I had at that time, and once again, man, I'm a clinical motocross dude. I did not know what an Igley wheel was, right? I find out for psychokinesis, I'm going to be using an Igley wheel. And so I get this thing for all of like 3 minutes. Me and this other competitor named Carol Bassi. None of the folks that did psychokinesis had ever worked with an Igley wheel prior to that, right? And so, we're just sitting there looking at this thing like, okay. I thought this was going to be a computer thing because this whole time I'm like sitting there trying to like Dr. Xavier this ball on this computer, like random number generator style. Then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, now we're doing it physical. I've got 24 hours to figure this out. Right. All right. We're gonna do a little prayer. We're gonna do a little dancing. We're gonna, just hope that tomorrow works out amazing. Right. And so we find out that we're gonna use the Iggly wheel. We don't really get much more about the actual games till Saturday, right? And so this is on Thursday. So Friday comes, me and my wife, once again, had not really been a part of this community. There's probably 30 remote viewings and like 4 or 5 big vendors for folks that can teach MindSight. And we're meeting all of these remote viewers. And dude, we've met Danny Sheehan and Croft and Bledsoes, like the entire family of the Bledsoes. And where else do we even go? We met the people from the telepathy tapes. We met, just like literally, dude, like countless people. Colonel John Alexander, right? Like Captain, if there was ever an X-Files dude, that's the dude, right? And so I'm like meeting this guy and I'm like wearing this BMX racing jersey because I didn't know what to expect. And I also, the racing was important to me, man. I wanted to go to somewhere and represent what was, in my heart, right? So I wore this BMX jersey. I'm meeting all these like important people and they're probably looking at me like, what is this dude? Like totally a Happy Gilmore moment. I even got some cold shoulders. It was cool. Whatever. So in the process of all this, right, we did not buy the ticket to go to the Chris Bledsoe watch, but where they were having it, you could get the same exact view from the parking lot. So in the process, we had accumulated a few rebel rousers, is what I'll say. And we just went down to the parking lot, and then they found out that I was one of the participants, and like we ended up collecting probably about 15 to maybe 30 there at the end, right?
Yeah.
Like that whole grassy area, probably about 30 people that were all into it. We were trying to get the orbs to come. They never came on Friday night, but long story short, I ended up accumulating a fan club of about 30 people, right? That were all at the games, right? So this becomes very important on Saturday. So we like go to the side games, right? And it was amazing, man. It's this entire ballroom full of people. It's literally Colonel John Alexander and Danny Sheehan and all these people all up front. You literally have scientists and teachers putting it on, supervised by military generals, then commentated by like influencers and podcasters. And it's and there's literally like 30 cameras rolling on you at all times. So Hakeem had paid like probably like 6 or 7 individuals just going around with cameras, getting different things.
Yeah.
Every game, every participant had a camera on them, some of them from multiple angles. And
just
so
a little
like
extra pressure for you.
Right. And so I think as much as it was a game, they wanted to make sure that it was controlled, that you couldn't cheat it. Like it was as controlled as it could be in like a multi-game player, right? Like not a specific setup for a scientific expression, but if you could control it as much as you could to still make it a game that you could participate in and keep it rolling, right? And so they do remote viewing to start off. They're in these like soundproofed desks, and it's all electronic, and it's this completely AI generated image. So it's not even a real image; it's just completely AI. I want to say his name is Tony. I think I remember it being Tony. This guy named Tony from Australia. Kills it, gets it like so close. Everybody, this guy named Keith that I'm friends with, he ended up, I think, getting like a podium on it, and just the remote viewers kill it, right? And I wish I could have done it, man, because I can remote view super well. I have lots of videos of me doing it, and I'll get to why I talk about all these videos here in just a minute, but I don't get to do remote viewing. I'm super jealous, but they kill it. They show that these people have these abilities, right? That's the main thing, is these people are showing that like we all can do it, and that these people are expressing it, right, in this pretty controlled setting, right? And so next one up wasn't it precognition? I think precognition was second.
Yeah.
So I go up on stage. It's me and 4 other folks, and we're doing this game where it's basically a left, right, right, wrong, target, non-target, right? And so if you can get more targets in a row, you get bonus points. So literally this guy named David Tran and I were just like, you could just like see it, and you could like, and so they have like these big projectors and they have like screens and they have this like AI woman that's talking to you and explaining the games and kind of giving its own commentation as you have like the commentators commentating, you're hearing everybody. And so kind of the first thing off, that same group of rebel rousers is what I'll say, start cheering, right? And this is the side games and everyone's like super like pretty staunch. And so I start feeding. I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm like, everybody just starts cheering. It turns the whole vibe into the whole thing like completely different, right? So then it starts lightening up, and then the Monroe people are like, they start cheering too, you know, and the elevation of the room just completely changes. There's this Phoenix that's also made by Weird Technologies. It starts going crazy, right? Room completely changes, right? And so me and him battling, he ends up getting me by a couple points. He ended up getting me like a few at the end where I was kind of tailing off. Can't lie, got second, right? I'll take it. We go back down. They do dowsing. Dowsing was not as fluid, I guess is what I'll say. The individual competitors did not get any out of the first round. Took 2 rounds for them to get really going. And then they were trying to look for like electronic images on like ports, like USB ports. And so that was also kind of difficult. I don't know. Whereas like, you know, I typically when we douse, we sometimes I use a pendulum, but I usually just use my hands. But you're looking for an object, something that has mass. So looking for an image was probably pretty hard for some folks if that's not what they had trained to. Do you know what I mean? So I think that was something that may be a little bit different for 2026. But it ends up going pretty well. You know what I mean? It's still an amazing event. Then they do Mindsight, right? And so Mindsight has Dahlia. And I don't know if you guys have seen Dahlia or do her thing, but man, so I'm lucky. I go up against this woman named Tammy. Me and Tammy end up having three tiebreakers. And it ends up with me getting a bunch at the end. So I mean, I end up crying on the stage. They took my picture and my board and stuff. So I end up doing well, and they had 2 different games for Mindsight, right? So I end up killing it with these like things that are very similar to this game. I'll try to show you guys here in a minute, but I do well. Dahlia crushes it, gets everything 100% in like 30 seconds.
Standing ovation in the room. Everybody was like, "Are you kidding me?" She puts on the blindfold, and it was like this thing he just showed you, but it was like pegs.
Like a donut and a peg.
Yeah, right? Like donut colors. And so we watched the other ones, and some of them would like feel okay, like what color it is. And it was like slower. Dahlia puts her mask on, is like orange, green, purple, you know, all of them, 100%. And everybody is like, what is happening? It was so cool.
It was crazy, right? And so I was definitely at that time doing more intuitive, like trying to feel the colors, feel the emotion, feel those colors as they hit me and be like, all right, well, this feels warmer and it feels more sunny and I'm feeling happy. So maybe it's yellow. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As opposed to like being able to lifetime see it, right? And so I do have my lifetime windows now. Long story short, I didn't at the side games, right? So I talked through my process. I'm even talking at the side games. Dude, I end up losing. I end up getting second in Mindsight. I literally even said it was dark. They were actually debating whether or not they were going to give me the one that I ended up getting wrong because I had never trained with brown, and it was
the color was brown, and you said
black. So I just had never trained with a brown. Anyways, I did not get it. So it's totally the way it should have gone. But so I ended up doing well there too, right? And then the second game was doing colors at distances, right? So they ended up having like a football field yardage thing that you would use for like a garage or maybe a backyard, right? But they put it on the stage and it basically goes for 30 yards. And so we actually built that exact same setup in my garage now to train with. But they do it on the stage, right? Me and the other perceptualists that did the individual games, we get down the stage. Like I said, me and this other guy named Jeff ends up winning. He beats me by 1. totally won. I'll take my second. Me and him got down the stage, so we did all right. It wasn't like we were like 2 or 3 feet off, right? But Dahlia ends up going off the stage, through the crowd, out of the crowd, and all the way to this wall, right? And no hesitation. Me and Jeff are like, like trying to figure it out. He's just like, bam, bam, bam. It's just, and you see a moment like that, and you're just like, what really is the human potential, right? Like, what am I really seeing right now, right? And so then Dahlia blows it out of the water with that. She then does a demonstration with her daughter Lidu, and man, the telepathy between the two of them, it was this card. They were talking about these two fish, and it said fish out of water. They threw telepathy, like it was with two different people from the audience. There was no way that Dahlia could have seen it. Basically, Dahlia gets it through Lidu, through this telepathy, and it's this moment that, man, I don't even know how you can come back from that. You see this moment of a miracle, right? And so everybody's, half the people are crying.
So it's a card that was randomly drawn or out of a stack by an audience member that was not pre-selected. And it had a picture with two fish on it. And I don't remember what the saying was. Fish out of water. So they handed it to Dahlia, and her daughter Lidu was just sitting in a chair blindfolded.
And she's nonverbal.
And she's nonverbal. So Dahlia looks at it. They put it on the camera for the crowd to see. They're like, okay, Lidu, can you tell me what it is? She's nonverbal, but she has this sheet that has all the letters on it, and she literally spells out fish. And then she's like, okay, Lidu, what does it say? Two fish out of water, or whatever it was. Perfect. There's no way she could have known, seen it.
We're not doing it justice. Wow. If you guys go on to the side games, they've posted it. And so there's been a couple of people that have posted about the side games. See, we're not doing it justice, but it's this moment of telepathy that like literally made me and my wife cry. Half the people in the place just have this moment that they can't unsee, right? At that moment, you're like, this is kind of a miracle. What am I actually seeing here, right? And so then they do the final game. Final game's the psychokinesis with the Iggly wheel. I end up killing it. I'm just going to say it. I have a friend named Jordan Crowder, who's also the person that was doing the commentating for it, right? And so he's talking about love, and I'm all these things, but I'm just peace and love, and I want everybody to experience the best they can, right? And so he's sitting there saying love. All the rowdy misfits that we accumulated are all cheering. I'm like telling everybody to cheer. It's the final game. It's like lit up, dude. It's and like everybody, I think, kind of liked me getting on stage too, because it was kind of like with some of the other games, it was like, when I got up on stage, it was like, oh, there he is. We got permission to go crazy. We got permission to do it, right? So then it's like the place lights up. It's getting loud. People are cheering and standing, and like I ended up winning. I ended up getting a standing ovation. It was this moment of my life, man. You can't come back from that, man. That's a moment that's gonna stick with everything else that I've done, man. Is like one of the top moments. Because Danny Sheehan. I don't know. You guys know who Danny Sheehan is. Dude's tall. Like I'm about 5'9" on a tall day. But like dude's like 6'4", 6'5". And with his hair, dude's like 7 feet tall. I'm just saying, he's a presence. And so he was right up front. So I just remember like winning, and I'm like doing my thing, right? And Danny Sheehan stands up, and I just remember seeing like just this massive dude. That dude stood out to me. Just he was like right up front. I don't know. I just straight honesty. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. It sounds like one of those nights where you definitely
dude. And his hair is amazing. Because it was like just right there. Dude's so tall. And it was just like, that's the focal point for me being on stage.
And he's 80. That's crazy. I didn't know he was that old.
Dude, he's I think it was maybe him and his wife or a companion. They were sitting up front, but dude, I wouldn't take any of it back. I hope he doesn't take offense to me saying that, but man, there was so much adrenaline. He was just a focal point because he's just right up front. But man, we wind up winning side games in that category, but we end up getting the overall champion because we end up podiuming him like second place or first in 3 of the 5 games, right? So people are starting to call me champion. All of a sudden, the people that were kind of giving me the cold shoulder on Friday were like, dude, you know what I mean? And so it's, this whole big thing. And I mean, man, my life's just been changed after. I think I've kind of found my more soul tribe. Not that the moto community isn't, right, but it's just, I can go throw down some laps with a dude, but if we're not on the same page after that, then it's cool to track, but I'm probably not going to hang out with you, right? And so when you find your soul tribe, that's just like, I want to hang out with you when we're not just doing this thing, you know what I mean? Like it's just a whole different thing.
And just hearing about people's different experiences and how insight and the different ways that they get there and how a lot of it is from trauma. It's just, we have met like the coolest people and just seen the coolest things that human potential has. And so it's really opened our eyes this past year. And we're just so grateful to be a part of the community and see all the possibilities.
And man, and so then like in retrospect, right? Like my mom's metaphysical, like mineral stuff. I think like on the backside of all this too, like I've done some meditation and I've kind of been drawn to things that I don't know why I would ever be drawn to them. And then I go to these things and I find like mystery letters. That's all I'm going to say. And so like, I find out like my mom's got this whole backstory that maybe I didn't know about. And like, maybe my whole family does, that's like from Kansas and this whole area. And like, there's all this other stuff with that, but like, it's just took me on this completely different journey, man. And I think I tell my story not only because I like telling my story and I like hearing myself talk, but like I also want people to know, man, I've posted all my videos and I've posted my process. And so what I want people to take from that is not just like, hey, look at me, but like, hey, we can all do it. And I just showed you how. You know what I mean? Because the one thing that kind of irked me, coming into this community is, man, you can go to Donnie Hansen. There's every dude everywhere that will teach you how to ride a dirt bike. I mean, there's schools that will teach you how to ride motorcycles, and it's not like they're very like hush hush, like don't speak out of turn. You know what I mean? And we kind of came into this, and there was definitely that element, and I don't have any allegiance to anybody, and I'm not legacy to anybody, so I'm like, I'm gonna put everything I do out there so that everybody can see, and lo and behold, it's not all that indifferent from other folks, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
so
I think that it's probably. Wait, are you saying that there are some people that are within like that kind of community that are like, hey, don't be giving away the secrets, almost like a magician kind of thing?
Not like a magician, but more like I've spent a whole entire time trying to build up this school or this business, and only have a person come through and just kind of put some YouTube videos out that show the entire process that he shouldn't have even known about. You know what I mean? And
I get it. I mean,
that's like that rebel rouser in me. Dude, I'm punk rock all the way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to keep it, because here's the reality, dude. Because every moment that I felt bad about myself, or that I didn't fit in, or that I wasn't good enough because I felt like I was psychic, or the kid that's artistic and didn't feel it right, and you have somebody trying to bogart it. No, man, that's not how it works. You share it. You spread the love. You don't keep knowledge for yourself if it can help everybody, right? And so, and not to say that these people are still doing that. I think since I've come along, I've kind of maybe changed some of those processes to where it's, at least it's marketing is what I would say. A lot of them look at it now, you know what I mean? But like, I came in with the intention of just proving that I was as real as it gets. Like, I've shown my process for training. I've shown everything leading up to it. I showed the actual side games itself, which you can buy the video, and there's 100 different cameras and all the different stuff, you know what I mean? And I've shown my follow-up since, you know what I mean? And so we've actually opened up a side training, business since then. And we have a handful of folks that are starting with us, but I think what's also very important to me is that it's not, a lot of this stuff is just very expensive, right? And even the Igley wheel itself is very expensive, right? It's just like dirt bikes. It's hard to race dirt bikes competitively without buying a $15,000 motorcycle. And to the normal person, $15,000 is that's a huge investment, right? And so when you're talking and I'm just going to say this, punk rock, we're just going to speak from the soul, be authentic, man. When you're sitting here and you're trying to charge people a lot of money, and you're doing something that we can still do in my garage from Amazon for $30, it just feels weird in my heart that we don't just show everybody if it's a $30 Amazon purchase. Dude, I have quit jobs because people have penny pinched, like in those skilled nursing facilities. If I had one thing in particular I just could not stand, where a dude wanted to save $2,000 and not pay for a person to have in-house therapies, and that was literally going to be the difference at that moment of that person being able to walk or not. And we penny pinched $2,000, and that difference was them being in a wheelchair and being more manageable, or giving them their independence. And I quit. I mean, I couldn't do it, right? And so I come into this community where it's very, very expensive and not as accessible to everybody. My first intention is to, like, hey, everybody, here's how at least works for me. You know what I mean? And so,
yeah,
and I've never been to any of these other places or training facilities, so I'm not giving away any of their trade ticket. You know, I've never been a part or associated with any of them. I'm just showing everybody what works for Ryan and the International PSI Games champion.
Hell yeah. So I like that. I think that there shouldn't really be gatekeepers unless you want to deepen your understanding and your training a little bit more.
Get a teacher, get a mentor.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that, you know, people like you and a lot of others that are posting their videos online and everything, it's like, dude, that's what's going to get people interested in this kind of stuff. And that's what's going to get people out of the frame of mind that, like, oh, it's just video edits or somebody's blowing the thing in the background or whatever.
Exactly.
As many people as you can possibly get to see this kind of stuff, maybe the rest of everybody else can kind of get on board and say, all right, can people actually do this? I'm not going to lie. I have a buddy. He's my old co-host from my conspiracy show. And I told him, I was like, dude, there are people that are moving this shit with their fucking energy and their hands.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh yeah, okay. I got these special abilities too. Wait till I make you a video. I can't believe you believe in that bullshit. And I was like,
go have him do it in front of Colonel John Alexander and Danny Sheehan, and then come talk to me.
And that's funny because he's a Marine, so he would respect it a little bit more.
Like, if there's a dude, that would be the dude to do it, actually. So
yes, but I think obviously everybody's probably going to look at it with a skeptical eye at first. Right, like, because you don't know these people. How can you know that you can trust these people that are behind a camera? You don't know if there's editing. You don't know if there's another person that is manipulating it in one way or another. But yeah, I think that the way that you've been showing it has been very authentic, and that's why we wanted to have you on. I mean, it's awesome that you were 2025 Psy Games winner. That's a fucking badge of honor right there. But like, just the fact that you're willing to come on to shows like ours and shows like Lights Over Loveland and everything, and just first of all, tell your amazing story, because I think that there are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Everything that you went through has led you to this, like literally to this conversation. And
exactly.
I love hearing that, because look, I think that a lot of people are probably going through a lot of hard shit, and if they can see that other people have gone through a lot of hard shit, maybe they know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a silver lining to it.
You don't become a good captain without sailing through stormy weather, right? And so and I think it's just an unconditional positive regard, man. I always say it, but we're all human. We're all doing this for the first time. We just got to show some compassion for each other, right? And once again, I'm not, dude. I am not a magician. I am, because I haven't got like pissed off because I did a podcast and people were talking some shit. So like, I even went out in one video, bought cards from the store, showed it all one thing, because it's not that for me. And here's the other reality part of it, dude. Like, I've come to the realization, unless you have that epiphany moment, unless you have that moment with Dahlia, unless you have the moment where the orb comes down and talks to you, dude, we have a moment where I was taking some inappropriate pictures of my wife and we caught a freaking ghost kid. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, I'm taking some pictures.
Full on apparition. It is the craziest thing. Like, it was when the first iPhones were just coming out and he's like testing out the camera. And I'm like changing. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he comes over and he's like, you need to look at this. And I'm like, what? Do I have like a new fat roll or something? And he's like, no, seriously, come over here. And I go look at it, and behind me, like it was out of the doorway of our bedroom, behind me is this ghost kid. It is like so clear. It's a boy that's probably like 4 or 5 years old. He has a bowl cut, like 90s style, and is wearing plaid pajamas.
And what's crazy, man, is our oldest son would always have these toys that would talk. We ended up leaving that house, not because it was haunted necessarily, but it definitely had some like moments where there was definitely a kid there, and it was interacting with our oldest son. We're like, oh well, we've had a good time here. Let's go
Time
find somewhere
to
else.
split.
Yeah, but it was never like aggressive. Once again, we just told it couldn't come with us. But then but when you have those moments, like right in the same way that a person that's never been to a behavioral center and doesn't know what that looks like and all the different angles of what that looks like, when they see one person have a crisis moment, that's something that could impact them for life and potentially scar them, right? Whereas the person that works in a facility like that, maybe that was a level 3 meltdown, you know what I mean, compared to a level 10, you know what I mean? And so it's it's just meeting people where they are, man. I can't change a person's mind to make you think this is psychic. I can only show you trophies and receipts, bitches. You know what I mean? Right? So like and I say that jokingly, but like, I had this opportunity to show it in this as controlled way as it could be in front of as many people and in front of as many cameras. And I did it. And I just want people to know they can do it too, man. And the universe speaks to you. Dude, the tarot, like, I'm not going to lie. I've always kind of been into tarot, but post sci games, like, because I mean, even if it's not exact, right, it's always just kind of motivational stuff, right? And you can make it work and feel better about it, right? It just kind of gives you a little bit of an extra boost if you're, and
have you been called demonic yet?
Dude, that's a sore subject. That's a sore subject. Yes.
Yeah.
My family.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to be called every day. Actually, every day we get called that. So I'm like, all right, I can't. There's nothing I can say or do to prove you otherwise. That's just gonna be your opinion of me,
dude. And like, here's the reality, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. Well, obviously, I can have 1,000 thoughts go through my head at once and not speak them. I am a guy that is more of a philosophy than like a religion, right? Like I love me some Alan Watts. Yes, I think there's there's so many different religions, dude. You're a conspiracy guy. You can go into all the craziness with like everything, right? And so, I mean, you could get super deep into like human existence, into like, consciousness versions with Lush, and you could go any of these other directions, right? And so, knowing all that, right, I try to keep it grounded. I'm not very religious because I do think there's there's other ways for people to get there, right? Some people might say it's chi. I might say it's adrenaline, and maybe they feel the same to us, right? And so where I try to break it down like dirt bike style, like adrenaline and energy, people might use the terms of like chi, or they might use different terms, but we're talking about the same stuff, right? And I think too, man, with having the clinical backside, I can kind of talk a little bit to the skeptic side as well and be like, okay, well, I understand what you're saying. My heart rate gets elevated. I have almost a manic type, behavior when I become elevated, and the elevated emotional state helps bring out, the adrenaline. And then when the adrenaline gets flowing with focused intention, I can become, 70% more accurate at my predictions.
Getting into that flow state, finding those slot machines.
Charge, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny that you mentioned that. Like, I never heard people compare adrenaline to chi or prana or life force energy, but it does make a lot of sense. And just first of all, I feel like most people probably can't really control their adrenaline very well or focus it in one position or anything like that. So I guess it kind of would be very similar to chi and prana and all that stuff anyway.
That's what I'm saying, man. So I think that's why, like, you're getting it. You get what I'm trying to say, though, right? Because it's not like I don't. Maybe Christianity gets there for some people. Maybe Buddhists get there in their own way. You have Shaolin monks that can obviously do some stuff. I mean, but and it's not just to one part of the world, right? Especially when you're a social worker, this person with this background of just accepting and understanding that people can get there, dude. Meds hit everybody different. A Tylenol will hit you different than it hits me. One drink of alcohol will hit you different compared to me. There's not one size fits all. And man, if you're really looking at this from like a behavioral breakdown, to think that, like, we don't make care plans or educational plans based on like a big, everybody should fit this mold. So when I do my training that I've been doing for 10 years, it should fit you, right? That's not how it works for me. It's like you've got to figure out what works for you, right? And I think I try to show what works for Ryan, but maybe what works for you, dude, is something completely different, right? And or the elevated emotional state can come from a different place, right? Like I definitely think of like Willy Wonka and like the moment at the end. I'm not gonna lie, dude, where he's in the newest one where he's forming the castle right after he connects the mom and the daughter. I cried, dude. I straight cried. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a crier. I cried every single time I got an award at the side games, other than the very last one where I flexed. You know what I mean? So, like, and I think it's that elevated emotional state that also helps the psi abilities, but also brings on like the orbs and some of the spiritual stuff, like spirits and ghosts. And I think it's being able to just feel that flow of life or the synchronicities, man. Numerology, when we see stuff, it's usually at like 11:11, you know what I mean? And like literally there was one ship that we saw that was specifically at 11:11, and that was one that she saw. And it's just like, when you start paying attention and then it happens so much, it's like you can't unsee it, right?
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, but you can't get everybody to see the same thing you're seeing. They have to have their own moment.
Yeah, there's like a billion different realities on this planet, and we all think that we're living on the same place, experiencing mostly the same thing, but that's really not the case. I mean, anybody that had brothers and sisters or cousins or parents or whoever they were around whenever they were younger, my brother and we lived in the same house, we ate the same food, we played the same sports, we had the same friends, yet we could not be more different as far as our lives turned out. You know what I mean? Like,
that is the same,
that's my kids. That's my kids and her sister.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I think that's kind of the way I like to look at it. And I love that you brought up, your love of philosophy. I think that there is so much to be learned about the nature of reality, the nature of yourselves within philosophy. Our particular favorite, we love Plato and, Socrates, big shout out. And I can't get enough of that kind of stuff because there's something in it that just clicks whenever you hear it. It doesn't have to be attached to a religion. It doesn't have to be attached to a staunch belief. And it's more fluid, and I like it that way,
Dude, okay, do you know Sisyphus? Sisyphus is the one that would push the boulder up the hill only to have it roll down, right? And that was just kind of the moment of life, and it's just, just an explanation of life, right? We're always struggling. We're always trying to build, right? Dude, so I have a punk rock dude playing a guitar, and I'm Ryan, right? So my nickname's Rhino. Punk rock dude playing a guitar, kicking a reared rhino right in the balls. That's like right on my chest. So it's my moment of like pushing up. I always kind of just, you're always building just to kind of fall to build up again, right? And so
that's it, dude. You know what? I wanted to bring this. We have to bring up this short movie to you because if you haven't seen it, you absolutely must. It is by Benedict Cumberbatch or Batch, however you say it. But it's called The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. Have you ever seen this?
I don't know.
I'm writing it down.
Yes,
watch it.
No, like watch it tonight. And like seriously, and it's only like 45 minutes long. It's not very long at all, but it's literally the man who could see without his eyes. And it was written by Roald Dahl, the same guy that wrote Matilda. And
what?
Dude,
I love Roald Dahl.
Dude, it's the best. It's the best.
Okay, that's awesome. Like right now we're working on our biography project and I convinced one of the kids to do Roald Dahl and they're like, "What?" So I'm telling them how cool he is and all these books he's written, and I'm like, come on, Willy Wonka is my favorite movie and the book of all time. You got to do it. And so this kid is like totally invested. He's reading all about him and just telling me more things every day. So that's awesome. I'm super excited to watch that.
Yes, yes. And I just love that kind of stuff because whenever you watch something like that, like I was heavily influenced by Matilda as a little kid whenever I was growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that people could do that. You know, even though it was just a movie and whatever, it's in Hollywood, dude, 100%, I believe that people could do that my entire life. And so even like there's short little videos that I would see. Have you ever seen the video of I don't know if he's some kind of monk or something like that, but he's holding a paper, like a balled up piece of paper in his hands, and he's showing how he's like condensing all of his energy, and he lights the fucking ball on fire.
Fire. Yeah.
Like
dude, like here's the thing, right? And so I don't claim to be in that space yet. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, you know, like it is though, man. Like we you know, I love my motocross analogies. We're kind of in freestyle motocross mode, right? Like you have all these different trainers kind of doing these different things. Everybody's posting new stuff. Everybody's trying to elevate it. And now there really is a competition format, kind of like the X Games. You know what I mean? Where you come once a year and kind of get to show off what you've learned over the last year, right? And so, man, all I'm going to say is that, you know, I've shown that I can stick stuff to walls. That's just not my bag. But I can do like Igley wheels under glass stacked. I don't know that I want to show any of that craziness right now because I saw that we've already like we're at like an hour and a half or so. But like, dude, I mean, I could go on for hours. I just know my wife's gonna be like, "Oh my god!" But
hey, as long as you want to go,
dude. I mean, we can show whatever you guys want, but like I've done like multiple Igley wheels stacked and being able to make both of them turn under glass, showing my surroundings. I've been able to like do the mine site with the patches, and I can look the other way, and like I've just shown all these different things to show that like. But I've also shown the process to get there, right? It's not like I just started there. It's literally been since April of 2025 to now, you know, the end of February 2026 to where now we're at. You know what I mean? And beginning of 2025, we were not. I mean, even at side games, we weren't where we are now. You know what I mean? So it's just showing people that if you stick with it, it's just like anything, man. If your heart matches your words, matches your actions. You're doing what you're saying. You're putting in the intent to build on something. Your garden's going to grow where you plant your seeds, right? And so, I mean, that all being said, I brought my wife out here to show some demonstrations or at least show folks a little bit.
That'd be great.
If you guys, yeah, dude, if you guys want to, do you guys both have mind folds or just you, Jonathan?
Yeah, no, we both got them.
Yep,
dude. Okay, so here's the deal. Brandy's used to this. We do side training internationally once a week. Brandy is going, so we'll show the whole process here, and we're all gonna do it, guys. Okay, first off, we're gonna do this. Since we all got mind folds, we're all gonna do this first, dude. All right, Sean.
Yep.
This is just a Plinko board. You're just gonna say blue or red, and you're gonna tell me when to drop.
All right. Now.
And you want blue or red?
Blue.
Blue.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, Jonathan, here you go. Tell me when.
When. Red.
Red. Dude.
Yeah, 2 for 2.
You guys are psychic, man.
We're on fire. I love it. I'm excited now.
Yeah, dude. You guys are, dude, that was the warm-up.
So you're guiding that, like you're just giving the emotion and giving it the information that it needs to guide it to where it's trying to go.
Dude, can I just tell you, straight honesty, right? I can demonstrate all this all day, but there's an amount of like influence that I feel also happens. Dude, the same way that you have to know you're going to send 100-foot triple, you can't come up short on it, right? If you're going to do anything, you want to come up long and kind of bounce off of it. Mm-hmm. You don't want to come up short and knuckle it or land into the face, right?
Got to go for broke.
You just got to know you're going to do it, right? And so, and it's usually got to come from this like fun kind of happy place. Like when it comes from like a darker, like you can get once again, you get conspiracy like from a darker place or a lower vibe. But when it comes from a negative place, right, it definitely throws off your concentration and your chi or your vibe, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes from like happy and you're flowing, dude, like anybody that does an action sports or when you're like drawing or painting, when you get into that flow state, man, time goes by so fast, or it can go so slow, right? And you can just find those moments where you're just connecting, right? And it's not to be weird, but it's finding that connection point and just kind of living there for a moment, right?
Yeah, dude.
And you can just kind of find that flow, dude. Dude, when we go to Vegas, it's kind of like following like ducks kind of following just like a weird piper, because I'll have this like entourage behind me and there's no rhyme or reason. We're just like wandering these casinos that we win like $1,000. The person comes over, like asks us if we need help, all this stuff. Then we just wander off. You know what I mean? And so what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna do a training. Are you guys familiar with Zener cards?
Yes.
Not so much over here.
I had actually pulled up a picture of it. I can share it right now. Because it had been a while since we had talked about it before. I probably talked about that on the Cult of Conspiracy more than over here. But
right.
Here.
No, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like from the Ghostbusters.
Dude,
yes.
Can I just okay. I'm just gonna spend a moment because you guys are cool and I am proud of this garage. I'm gonna unplug it. Okay, so we've basically got horror over here. We've got all the like gremlins. So
dude, Mars Attacks. All this stuff
too. I have so much Ghostbusters stuff, dude. Dude, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. Yeah, including the Ghostbusters car. I got like the full thing here. I've got a whole nother Ghostbusters area over here. Dude, I gotta show you this other part. I got this Demogorgon.
Holy shit.
Dude, I'll show you. I'll give you the 360 here real quick, since it's like a live. Hold on.
You have the sickest garage I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the race shop side. So it's all full of bicycles that we race now. But so these are some of the championship motocross, championship supercross. These are all the wins.
Hell yeah.
These are right here. These are the latest Supercross championships. I actually got a Red Bull helmet. I'm one of the few guys that can say that they got one of those. I was actually sponsored by Red Bull KTM in 2018.
Wow.
So yeah, man, we got all the bikes lined up. Got the backdrop. So my side games awards are up on that middle shelf there.
Okay.
And just some more of the like racing. I have like a whole Stranger Things side. Those are all the like BMX racing plates is what they give. I have a whole bunch of like national BMX stuff, including Grand's trophies, which is like the big national race that they do. Yeah, man,
you just like all the cool shit, dude. All the cool stuff.
Dude, it's the man, dude. If I'm telling you, if Willy Wonka had just a little bit more testosterone,
that's what it would look like.
Me.
A few more dirt bikes, yeah,
dude. Just a little bit more dirt bikes and adrenaline. But I want to do one more thing to just take people. I want to take all this away from all of us, so nobody can say or talk any shit. So I am going to sit. I just want to show everybody here. This is just a couch. I'm going to sit on the edge of this couch so Brandy can't touch me. Brandy won't be touching me. I have nothing in my pockets. I'll show my pockets. I mean, this is important for me.
No, I like that you're doing this.
For sure.
Right? So I've taken my wallet out. My wallet's going to be on the table. I have nothing. If anybody wants to see my booty, there's nothing in the back of my pants. I wish I could show you all my tattoos. There's nothing underneath. We're not wearing a wire. But I want people to see. So I'm going to sit over here. I am going to put on the mindfold. What she's going to do, I'm going to move my wallet so we don't get that in there. She's going to use the Zener cards. Once again, man, Sean, it's just to remind you, it's going to be a plus, water, or squiggly lines like they say in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Circle, square, and I think this one also includes a triangle and a star.
All right. Sounds good, dude.
And so, man, guys, if you get it right or wrong, it does not matter. and I want people to know too, like, even if you don't get any of these right, like people that are watching or people that want to try to do it when they watch this video, it's just about learning yourself, right? Even if you get all of them wrong, you're learning more about yourself. You're learning how to connect with yourself or a divinity, life force. I mean, and guys, I'm not going to lie. I have like 2 or 3 different ways that I try to find these cards. I actually work with this company called Weird Technologies in England, and I actually do Zener cards with them in England, where there's no way I can be any modification to any of those cards. And like, this woman doesn't even show me the cards. Her name is Mandy Louise Paul. She's like a pretty big English psychic, but she'll just like have me precog then pull, right? And so I guess what I'm just trying to say is, like, I kind of remote view, I kind of mind sight, and I kind of precog this stuff. I don't just use one skill set. And I always tell folks that, like, if you can build a good base of precog, mind sight, although it's a completely different skill set, it comes easier because you already have that knowing of, like, I'm going to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what we'll do, guys, is Brandy will shuffle these. We'll let her pull them out, and then we'll put on our mind sight, and we'll just have her do like maybe a handful. So go ahead and shuffle them, Brandy, and we'll pull them out. Just keep them all down until we get our masks on.
Oh, cool. All right.
I saw you guys smoking a little bit. I'm not encouraging anybody to smoke.
Don't smoke.
Oh man, this side is stuck. Hold up.
All right. I'm ready.
Oh.
So typically, Brandy, you want to do it the same way we do remote viewing, where you just put it up, and so that way the camera can see and they can see that we can't.
Yes.
So what we'll do is, when we all get ready here, Brandy will put up the card to the camera. We're just going to do this real quick and simple. Typically, you would do this with like a dry erase board, and you would just say what you would do, or you would draw the shape, right? We're just going to call it out just for time's sake. Okay. So try not to be influenced by anybody. Just do your best guess.
Right.
Or
real
whatever.
Quick, Ryan, do you keep your eyes open or closed when you wear the mind sight?
Inside the masks, I usually keep them open. If I'm wearing the like extra eye patch things that some people, anyways, they're big eye patches, and you have to shut your eyes in them to get it to like seal right. So I do shut my eyes when I do that, but most of the time I keep them open. You are looking for substance, right? You are
right.
You're trying to see through it, but you're also trying to catch anything else that might come to you, right?
Okay.
I think when people think of mind sight, they just get so absorbed into like just the visual, right? And they forget that, like, while you're driving, you're using all of your senses. You're listening. You're not only using vision. You're feeling the car. Do you know what I mean? And I think people just get so sucked up into one thing that they forget about all the other stuff that's going on. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Just right before we do it again, can you say what the shapes are? It was the water, the circle. What else was it?
Square plus triangle.
Okay. And yep.
Water, circle, square plus triangle, right?
And star.
And star.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. All right. Let's get weird.
Let's do it. So Brandy will she'll say it's up, and then she'll say new card.
Okay, the card is up.
I'll let them go first.
I'm gonna say star.
I'm gonna say square.
Square.
Okay, square.
Oh.
New one's up.
Circle.
I'm gonna say star. Again.
Star.
Star.
All right.
Dude. That's Jonathan, right? Is Jonathan on fire?
Jonathan got one. Sean's got one.
One and one.
Two. Okay.
If you said ooh, that means it's a special one. Don't give that one.
Okay.
That's
That's a different one than we said. Okay. Oh no, it's 2 in a row.
No, then just pull those down because they're never gonna get that.
Okay. Okay. Next one's up.
Triangle.
Let's say the water.
I got bubbles. Circle.
It's a circle.
Oh.
And I just want to show everybody too. You guys don't have to, but I like to show in all my videos. I show that like the mindfold is sealed. The mindfold's a good mask. So like in Brandy, I don't mean to interrupt, but like So when people ask about the Mindfold uses a very similar foam to like dirt bike goggles. And the reason that that's important is like dirt bike goggles seal to your face to keep dust and rocks from getting to your eyes. So when the Mindfold seals to you, it seals to your face, just like the motocross goggles do. So it's not like light can necessarily get in. So it's definitely not like you can cheat the Mindfold that, you know, it's once you're in, you're in. You know what I mean?
It's the same compressing foam at same compressing foam as the tip of a microphone. It feels like it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Oh, what's it? Hold on. What's it?
I thought we pulled them all out.
No. Oh my, I got to it. Hold up. Okay. Next one's up.
Oh, that's my jaw. I know what it is.
Plus sign.
Star.
Water.
It's water.
Oh.
So one of the gate program things, dude, is they definitely incentivized me with candy. And I remember getting a water Zendikar correct, and the dude gave me a sour warhead. And
So it just activates your
dude, it's like Pavlov's dogs. Whenever water is in and I'm trying to catch it, it gives me sour jaw. Let's do maybe just like two more.
Okay. Next one's up.
circle.
Water.
It's a special one. It's the opposite. It's the black star. Black with white star.
Yes. Black background, white star. Okay. Next one.
Square.
Plus sign.
Plus.
Plus sign.
Dude.
All right.
I'm gonna pull them off. Who keeps getting them right? One of them.
I got
both of you is pulling them out over there.
I wanted to say plus on that, but I was double thinking. I was double guessing on it.
Can't do that, man.
Dude, it's so much fun, right? And when you so Sean, we're out of the mask, Sean.
Oh.
I'm just playing with you, man. I'm just playing. I was gonna let you sit there for a little bit longer.
No, that's fine. I enjoy it actually.
Dude, I was just playing with you, but you know, it's so funny, dude, because like when you get like 2 or 3 in a row and you're like, fuck, like something really came to me and I felt it and I got it right. Like, and out of like 6 possibilities, that's pretty impressive, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you get like 2 or 3 of those in a row, you're like, I'm fucking 11.
Might be something. You know what I mean? And I feel like it is definitely something that can be very subtle. You know, it's not so much that you're, at least in my experience right now, it wasn't like I was actually seeing the card or seeing the monitor here in front of me. It was more like I was seeing other shapes and just kind of like trying to use my intuition, I guess. But I imagine if you do that for a while, you would start to develop certain patterns and things that you would notice and go, oh, I understand. I've seen this before.
You're getting it.
Just, right.
100% exactly what you just said is exactly the connection I think people just need to get, right? The more time you spend in the mask, the easier the stuff comes. You know what I mean? And you can, I just lost my thing. You can just get to know it, right? You get to know yourself. You get to know how you're reacting to these different things, right? And so, I mean, I thought that was cool. I can do one more thing. I want to do one more thing for you guys, just real quick, just to show that it's not the mask. Plus, this is like my new favorite thing because I think I might be doing some other stuff coming up other than the side games where I might have to show this in front of a bunch of people. So I need to make sure I can still do this in front of people. So let's do a little demonstration.
All right.
I cannot grab these things with my freaking hands.
Your meat paws.
Meat paws. So without dumping over the coffee.
That you don't need it.
Don't spill the 911. Extra
Dude,
sweet.
911 is the best. Where did that thing go?
This is the first time that we've done stuff like this. This is fun.
Dude,
oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude,
you guys got some right, so that's great.
Hey, really quick, since you guys are just doing this for the first time, and before I do this next thing will be like my coup de grace, but we're just gonna start from here. Dude, black, red. Sean, go. Black, red.
Red.
Black.
Black.
Oh.
One more time. Black, red.
Red.
Black.
right.
Now we got a tie. Now we got to do a tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker, dude.
Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Black, red.
Black.
Red.
Oh, you
eat
son
it.
of
All right,
a-
redemption. Oh my god, what am I doing? Redemption.
All right.
Black, red.
Black.
Black.
You guys
All
called
right,
it. You guys
all
both
right.
red. We'll end
We're
on
both
that one. We'll end on
winners.
that one. But see, like, here's the point. Like when you do that repetitively though, and you can kind of get your own flow.
Yeah.
Like even Brandy's gotten up to like I think like 40 out of 52.
Damn.
Wow.
Or 40, 43 or something like that, maybe.
I don't remember.
But
That's
I mean,
impressive.
yeah, and I mean, you just kind of get into it. All right, now I need to do this.
I felt like the hard part about that would be, for me anyway, would be just to not think so logically. Oh, I saw a red one already, so this one's probably going to be black.
Don't try to count the cards. Just go with the flow.
Right, exactly. Like when the star came up, or it wasn't the star, but I said star, and then the very next one I said star again, which would be logically unlikely for me to say that, but I went for it anyways.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of the key, it seems.
Yeah, logic mind has never accomplished any of these.
Yourself.
Logic.
I'm gonna put my pockets back in, guys.
Right.
I just realized I never put my pockets back in.
They were just still sitting out.
So I want to do one more thing, guys. I just want to show one more thing to all the haters. This is the table. There's nothing. I made this table. I wish I could say I purchased it. There is a crack. I fully acknowledge that. We're gonna do this all right here. It's just two slabs that we used to use for ramps that we made into a table.
All right.
So I just want people to understand what they're seeing and to see that there's nothing. Also, I guess I want to show too, because people say some crazy stuff. So once again, I'm gonna sit over
They
here.
just can't accept it, dude. Don't worry about them. It's
I'm
not
gonna,
for them.
I'm gonna sit over here. I'm gonna be over here. There's nothing on the seat. Brandy's not gonna touch me. I don't know Morse code. I wish I knew Morse code. She's not gonna be drawing anything on me. Show them what we is where I do this.
So these are just shapes and all different colors. So right now they're mixed up. So I'm just gonna take them out and we'll mix them up once he gets his eye patches and his mask on. And then he is going to pick them up and put them in the correct color.
So I use eye patches you can get off Amazon. I think they're $6 for like 10 of them or something. They're medical adhesive patches. Just want to show they're new. Only reason I do this too is, once again, this isn't to like be like a magic trick kind of thing. It's just to try to put one more layer of like proving that it's not just the mask, right?
Answer the questions that the skeptic is going to have.
Exactly,
and
right?
Present to you. Right.
Exactly. So that's what I just want people to know too, is it's not like I'm trying to be like, hey, you know what I mean? And it's just I'm trying to show people, because like what's also really important to me, guys, is like I want to represent for the Psy Games. I want to represent for the people that are saying they're psychic, and it's really important to me to keep it legit. You know what I mean? And
absolutely,
and not to let it get to the point where like you have people saying their side when it's magic, or it's just not that at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like that you're going to these extent these measures. You know, you're double wrapping over there. There's nothing coming through. I mean, already it's almost impossible for anything to come through with a a mindfold, but then you got the eye patches and then the mindfold on top of it. That's
dude.
I mean, I don't even know what anybody would say as far as being a skeptic with this.
Is this?
Yeah.
And these pieces that have the different colors and the different shapes, the texture on all of them are the same, because I feel like that's another thing.
Yeah,
like, maybe the texture is a little bit different.
Two random ones up, and you can see there's like no bumps or anything like that. They're all the same.
Right. Okay.
And they're wood.
Yeah, just wood. It's just like a kid's toy.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And that's just for the skeptic. I'm already on board.
I'm sold.
You know what I mean? So
I also just will do the one last, because I fucked them up again. Will you just do that real quick?
Oh, yeah.
God, I love this stuff. Sean, does this not like inspire you to start working on this?
I'm excited, dude. I feel like a kid right now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
when he first got his windows to open up, that was the craziest thing. Because before, like he told you, he was doing it by like intuition and precog because he already had that. But when his windows actually opened up, he was like, keep showing me what's the next card. And he was getting them all right. It was really, really cool.
So I am just going to do it one more time because I want to show one last thing because.
Is it just not sticking right?
Well, it's doing the thing. Okay. So this is the important part, guys. So she's going to mix these back up. I want you guys to see this part close up because this is the part where everyone's going to be talking shit. Is this unfolded? I feel like it's folded. Is that unfolded?
I pulled it as much as I could to get it unfolded.
Okay. So we're going to get right up in here and we're going to put the mindfold over. Okay.
All right.
I show it on camera.
Yep.
Completely sealed up.
Okay. Do you want the shapes closer to you?
I want to say the same. I don't want people to say them. Yeah.
Or
I want to put the red on the right.
Yep. Okay.
He's going to the zone.
Dude, I was talking about like my gate, right? In motocross, you're like on this gate. In supercross, you usually have about 15 dudes. In motocross, you can have up to 40. And you've got all these bikes going and you've got like up to 40 dudes all thinking they're going to be first into that corner, right? And you just have to know you're going to do it. And so like right now, my window is not open. But Brandy, do you have your watch available or a phone?
Yes.
Can you, let's not do 30 seconds because I've never been able to do 30 seconds. Let's do.
You got to simulate the adrenaline.
Yep, it is. Let's do like 40, 45. What do you think?
Let's just do a minute, like minute to win it.
Minute to win it. All right. Well, give me some grace. So just want to show once again everything. I'm not going to touch it. I'm trying to get my windows to open because like right now I'm just envisioning we're in the side games and it's like go time. We're touching it. Brandy, you tell me when.
You tell me. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Marks, set, go.
Oh, the reds are not coming through right. I can feel that we're not going to be 100%.
Holy.
Where is it? So my windows are kind of moving around on me. Where are we at in time?
25 seconds.
Okay. I've walked into that color.
Holy shit.
I just need to focus on one color because if I can find one color, I can like find that in my head better.
Time.
No way! Darn it! Really? How many are left?
3, 6, 8.
Okay.
I want to say, dude, you got all of them, but like maybe one.
He usually gets 100%, but
that's incredible.
I had 8.
Yeah.
So
burn through.
I'm finishing. Even if we got last, I'm finishing the race.
You got to finish the race, dude.
3 more.
Oh, they all look the same. This is the hardest part. It's blue, but it doesn't feel blue. Yikes.
They say blues and greens are hard.
Blues and greens
They're
are
just
hard.
A little bit harder to discern.
Is that it?
Yep, that's all of them.
Wow.
Right.
That is impressive.
So what we'll do, guys, is I want to get right back in here. I have not touched it. You guys saw Brandy move the thing, but she did not touch any of the setup. I mean, so I'm going to go ahead and come out real quick. Just once again, we'll keep showing here.
Wow, dude.
And you guys can see.
Holy
right?
crap, dude.
You do all right?
Yeah, all but I think 2.
I must learn this, dude. That's amazing.
Right. Yeah, you put 1 yellow and a green and 1 green and a blue. But other than that, you got them all.
That's a great job, dude. Great job.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Usually it's 100%. I keep telling you, I can train and get like 100% 100 times. I go on these podcasts and I've been.
Oh, dude,
lately.
no, I'm thoroughly impressed, dude. That is amazing.
Well, hey man,
Good shit, dude.
I appreciate it, and like I said, dude, we do the Igley wheel, but we only do the Igley wheel under glass now. Pyrex glass. Not to say that, you know, like if people are just learning how to do it, totally do the Igley wheel open. If you think you're going to be a competitor at the side games, you better learn how to do it under glass.
Get yourself some Pyrex.
Get yourself some Pyrex, dude. But I just wanted to, you know, kind of show people too that like anyone can do it with the dedicated time and intention, just like anything, right? Fitness doesn't come overnight,
right?
But if you keep putting at it, you'll become fit. You know what I mean, or at least better than you were. So
consistency.
I love it.
And just try to make a habit out of it. You know, I think that making a habit out of it, like brushing your teeth or putting on deodorant or anything like that, like right before you're getting ready to grab your keys to go to your car, all right, I got to do this first, or something like that. So where you're almost training your mind to remember to do it every single day.
Dude, exactly. And to the point that we had to like set a regiment for training, right? And if that regiment wasn't there, I don't know that we would be where we are, right? Because it's taking that regiment to get there, you know? And so, yeah, man, I just wanted to show everybody that the mind sight's kind of like, it's kind of like my medium. I'm good at it. I'm not the best at it. I'm pretty good at psychokinesis. I'm definitely stronger at that. I am like super good at remote viewing. I've just not had the opportunity to show that in like a side game setting yet. But yeah, man, it's just I just want people to try to do this for themselves, right? That's if anybody gets anything from this crazy long story and all this stuff I ramble about, man,
live in yourself.
Live life to the fullest. Don't have any regrets, man, because you don't know when death's gonna come. You don't know if there's gonna, dude. There was a freaking fire like 2 blocks from my house that like caught here in Colorado, and we're like all crispy because it's 80 degrees in February, dude, and like they almost had to evacuate this like place I work at, right?
They evacuated the high school.
Yeah. So, dude, like it's just like you just never know, right? My dad was actually in an accident the day of side games. So, like, I'm trying to do side games and find out that my dad and my kids were in an accident, like as I'm going on stage. So it's just you never know, man. And I just want people to. I always say this in all my things, man. When you find the flow, when you find that rhythm to life, you just got to dance and man, make the best of it. I hope that people take risks, intelligent risks, but take risks, you know what I mean? And just try to find out, man. Sometimes you got to fuck around to find out because if you don't fuck around to find out, you don't
never
really
find
know,
out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, dude. I love it, dude. If your thing right now is to inspire people, man, you did a great job, man, because I feel very inspired. That was incredible. I enjoy your energy,
we'll be
dude.
back on your show after the side games, dude, and we'll have you guys doing Mindsight and Freecog beating me. So
let's go, dude. Let's go. We're training for it. It's happening. You inspired us. Yeah,
we're coming after you. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, no, I hope. Dude, I can just tell you there's been, this is the last little bit, and then if you guys have any questions or anything, I know you guys said about something about tarot, that there's been like these people that have been like reaching out to me from all over the world. I think some of them follow me, so I'm not going to talk any smack, but man, I have had people from like Germany like reach out to me, and like people I would have never ever encountered in my life. A lot of it's been positive. Some of it's been a little bit weird, is what I'll say.
They got their own Ivan Drago over there just training right now, just with a picture of you just punching meat in a
I can tell you,
somewhere.
I think that person lives in Germany. That's what I'm going to say. I'm pretty sure there's a dude in Germany like Ryan. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually know that's happening right now. But other than that, dude, it's been such a good community, and I just want to say thank you to you guys for having me on. But I know you guys said about tarot, and I'm all about tarot.
We pull one card every episode just to kind of see if it matches the vibe of the episode and the information.
Dude, if it says Hierophant, I'm going to lose my mind.
We just pulled that 2 days ago, actually.
Yeah, we just had that card. Actually, we got the Queen of Swords for this one.
Interesting. Okay. The Queen of Swords. And then we like to, because we're not masters of tarot by any means, but we have this handy dandy book that will.
The Hierophant would have been awesome, though. because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, we got a teacher right here, you know.
All right, so we got this is perfect for all the bullshitting, the haters out there. This is perfect. So the Queen of Swords. Queens in tarot represent feminine energy that includes receptivity, honesty, compassion, and love. The Queen of Swords represents the elements of water and air, yet there is very little water in the card itself, just a faraway stream. This indicates that clear communication, intellect, and logic are favored over emotional outpouring. This queen is seated on a sturdy throne, welcoming anyone who seeks her counsel, yet she holds her sword of truth in front of her, making it clear that she will not hide her thoughts and opinions. The queen is wise and just. Her thoughtfully drawn conclusions are trusted by all who surround her. To remain in balance, she is open to hearing the opinions and ideas of others. That's pretty damn spot on. A couple of things.
We'll take it.
Yeah,
dude, I was still hoping for the higher fib. I'll take that.
Oh, dude, you got the clear communication. You were talking about your honesty and compassion and love.
Right.
It's perfect. I love it, dude. And we also like to read the spiritual message behind it. It says, stand up for your beliefs and don't shy away from sharing your wisdom with others. Focus on using logic and reason rather than relying on emotional expressions, but beware of coming off as harsh in your delivery. All right.
Perfect.
I feel that one was spot on. I felt like that one hit the mark.
That's pretty much what you said.
That's awesome.
Well, hey man, I just wanted to say thank you guys, and dude, you guys keep doing what you're doing, because I'm just telling you, man, all these different things are all hitting the people right now, right? Like everybody can feel it, that there's going to be a consciousness like elevation probably in the next 2 years, and with things like the side games becoming more accepted. I mean, yes, it's consciousness and all these things that have been kind of woo-woo, but now it's in a competition form where you can express it and it's controlled. And I think it's going to take a lot of that woo-woo out to where it's more mainstream or becoming more mainstream. And we're going to see some sort of a culture built around it, man. And you guys are helping to build that, just like all of us that are putting it out there. So
perfect.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, dude. We really appreciate you coming and spending the time with us. This was a lot of fun. We've been looking forward to it for a little while now, and so we really appreciate you. If you would, could you tell all of the initiates where they can find you and all your good work, sir?
They can look me up. So I'm an old school dude. I'm 40 plus, man. I'm a vet guy. Facebook, you just look up my name, Ryan Desbien. If you go on to social medias, you can always just look up Monstrous Nightmare number 716 or Monstrous Nightmare 716. I come up everywhere. I forget what my hashtag things are, man. I just know if you look up those things, you'll find me. I have a YouTube channel. I think it's Monstrous Nightmare 1234, maybe. You guys will find me.
Perfect. We'll put all that down in the show notes below for anybody who wants to go and search for you. Sean, any parting words for you, sir?
Oh man, this was so fun. Like I said before, dude, I love your energy. And I can understand why you're in the flow state, because your energy is just constantly moving, man. And so I appreciate
good or bad,
you,
good
man.
or bad, man.
No, it's amazing, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to be in that state in order to get on that level, you know what I mean, and really get into it in all of this. And so I just really appreciate your time, dude. And man, congrats on winning the games, dude. That's amazing. And hopefully we'll see you there next time.
We are. I got my invitation at least for the 2026. So we'll be on that stage at least one more time.
All right, dude. Looking forward to it.
Well, look, if Ryan,
thank you guys so much.
Thank you. This was so much fun. If Ryan Desbien came here and he taught you anything, it's that you don't know what you don't know. So don't just get weird.
Stay weird. Strange job we have.
No, I know. Man, it took me a little while because we've done it like the last 3 nights or last 3 shows in a row. And so my brain was like not as thrown off You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to rebound or anything like that. But once I did finally get there, I actually completely lost track of time. That could have been, it was 13 and a half minutes. That could have been 30 and I wouldn't have known the difference. I was just like, I got to pop out of here at some time. So I wasn't sure.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm right there with you as far as the not being so thrown off and almost taken, like this very last time I felt like I almost had an out of body experience, or I don't know exactly what was happening, but it was very strange, very almost disconnecting with my own physical, and really kind of losing perception of up and down, and it was kind of strange. This time, not so much though. I think I felt like I was having just like some thoughts here and there, and I also had the thought that like that sound was like a dirt bike just sitting there idling. You know what I mean? That's what it like kind of sounded like to me for a minute. But yeah, it was good though.
I feel like they work really well. Like something like that would work really well if you have a guidance that you're trying to go to, like an objective, like Nigel was talking about. And once I finally got there, I was like, all right, I'm going to come up with an objective and I'm here. And if I'm ever going to get any kind of information from the other side of the veil, it's going to happen right now. And I just said, can you show me who my spirit guides are? I just want to know. I said, and I was like, look, I don't have any preconceived notion. I don't even care who it is. You show yourself however you show yourself. And it took a minute and then finally got something. Now I didn't hear any words. I didn't even see a face, but what I did see was an eyeball with long eyelashes. So I'm guessing girl. And it had a slit for an eye.
Oh,
so it made me think old Sekhmet, bro.
Oh, all right. I mean, that's pretty solid. It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
showed up to you at one point before, so.
Yeah, she did with her animatronic body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're getting Ronnie Pontiac back on the show here soon.
All right.
He said, give him a little bit of time. His wife just passed.
Oh,
I was like,
dude.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Literally the wife that he met through fucking Manly P. Hall.
And got married to her at his house.
Manly P. Hall conducted the wedding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so he said, I'm going through it right now. And I said, dude, whatever you need, you let us know, man. We want to be there for you. Fucking love you. Love that guy.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry, White Boy Wizard, I saw you had your hand up, sir. Go ahead, enter it in.
Dude, like, yeah, I definitely lost track of time, but for the first couple minutes, like, I felt like a fucking doorstop between like two levels of existence.
Just going back and forth.
It was fucking tripping me out. I was like, what the fuck is this thing, dude?
It's super strange, dude. And I think that's why it works. I think that's why it's so profound, because you find yourself in a very unfamiliar type of vibration.
It's abnormal.
And so you don't really have the time or space to be thinking as many of the logical thoughts or intrusive thoughts that you normally would, because you're just so entrenched by whatever that sound is. I don't even know what that would be, and so yeah, it's super, super cool though. I enjoy it.
Did you say what frequency that was?
7 and 14 hertz. Very, very low frequency, specifically designed for this kind of stuff. It's specifically designed to put you into the alpha state, which that alpha state is, there's levels of the alpha state. You could have a super light alpha state or a super deep alpha state. And then there's obviously levels that go even beyond that with theta and gamma and whatnot. But alpha state is definitely where it starts out at, and the varying levels of that. That's through reading this book, they said the goal is to try to get to where you are in alpha every second of your life. And that is how you'll be able to pick up psychic abilities, and you'll be able to, literally walk around like a goddamn magician. And so I believe it. I think that if there was ever any way to do it, it's through a trance state. Because you think about it, anytime, like even my personal experiences, whenever I've been on psychedelics, I always say that I whatever is happening, I know that even whenever I'm not tripping, I know it's happening in my peripheral. You know, that was always something that like I always want to bring back with me from the other side, was that bit of information. And I think that maybe a good way of saying that is just by going into alpha.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
because now you're fully aware, and so the things that are happening, the synchronicities, or just simply the amazing things that are possible, are no longer only in your peripheral. It's now front and center all the time. Your awareness is up. You're no longer reacting to things. You're now just like you are putting the action in and doing that consciously rather than subconsciously and kind of reactionary.
yeah.
So yeah, it's very powerful. I mean,
It's a trip.
in that episode, it talks about like creating this space in front of you within that alpha state of mind, and creating a screen and putting a photo of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish versus either what you have now or an old way that you used to be. And so then you can slide one over, look at it, and slide the other one over, and really have this practice within your mind, and putting your fingers to get your thumb, index, and middle finger together, and you can instantly bring yourself back to that state of mind and that knowing and that almost that remembering of how you feel when you see the photo that you would prefer. And it is really trying to, I don't know, I feel like it's like a little cheat code for your brain, for your mind to just sync up to, like Ryan was saying, whenever he saw that particular card, he was given a candy, and it happened to be a lemon candy. And so almost in the same way, whenever that happened in his mind, that whatever you want to call that connection was met, he all of a sudden had the sensation of like he was eating a sour candy. So it's like meeting the mental and the biology and everything, kind of putting them all together and more streamlined.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? There's actually within the Dolores Cannon hypnosis classes, and I never do this because I don't know. Most of the time I hypnotize somebody, I'm probably never gonna do it again with that person, because usually you do it, it's a one-time experience. You're like, oh wow, that's absolutely not what I thought it was going to be, but I'm happy I experienced it. Got a lot of answers, felt like I got a little bit of internal healing and whatnot, whatever you get from it. But most of the time, and that's the same thing with psychedelics, but anybody who's ever had like a blast off psychedelic experience, they'll tell you how amazing it is, but I'll never do it again. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. And but anyhow, within the hypnosis stuff that I do, there is a I forget what it's a key word. I'm trying to give you a key word, that way I don't have to go through the entire induction process. It's you get into a comfortable position, close your eyes, get really comfortable, get really relaxed. I'll give you like a couple of minutes to really sink into the chair or sink into the bed or wherever you're at. And then the one word that you would never say, that you would never hear anybody say, I'll say it, and somehow or another, your subconscious mind just knows to get you past the induction method, off the cloud, all that stuff, or past the happy place and all that stuff.
It's a
right?
Shortcut.
It's a shortcut. Yeah. White Boy Wizard said, have you done any episodes with anyone from the Theta Healing Circles? It's my first time ever hearing of this. No, we haven't. I can be on the lookout for it, though. I know that, dude, we've been setting up a lot of amazing shows here, like coming up, that I'm really excited about. There's this guy who, he's a channeler, and he's going to come on the show and teach us how to channel. And he's going to show like his methods as to how he gets there. I was watching the other day. He was channeling Gilgamesh, which, some people would say that that's a giant or that's a fallen angel, Nephilim or whatever. And he was channeling him, bro. His entire voice changed. It was like his demeanor changed because he talked a little bit before, and then he went into his trance state. And dude, it's like on some Bashar level shit. And I'm like, all right, this guy, I want to learn it. but I also
Right.
want to see his process, and maybe there's some crazy answers that are out there. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know exactly where I stand on the channeling thing, like, because I feel like it can go multiple ways. It could be, okay, he's channeling something that's very far away and or in some other dimension, or it could be he is associating himself as that thing, and so the information can come through him much more clearly, like getting himself out of the way. So it's still him, but in his mind he's removed, and so that the information that is probably in all of us, through whether it's through DNA or who knows, the information is just there, like the Akashic records, and so it gets him out of the way and allows him to speak it just so fluidly, getting himself into a flow state, almost like the shortcut
Yeah.
that you were speaking of.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is. I have a harder time believing that somebody is receiving radio connection from an invisible ship directly above our physical Earth.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's impossible, it's just that I have a hard time, connecting that. But then again, if everything is right here, right now, all the time is condensed into this one place, and we don't have the senses to be able to sense what is all out there, who are we to say? I don't know.
That's right.
I don't know what I don't know.
That's it, dude. That's it. We're about to find out, though.
Yeah, we're definitely going to find out. So yeah, dude, fucking Ryan. I cannot believe that show. That was so much fun. And he went into
I had the
such
mind
depth.
Go ahead, dude.
I loved it.
I had the mindfold on, and I was just imagining riding a dirt bike with one of those. I can't even fathom that, dude. Obviously he's a professional, dirt bike racer, but still, you can't see anything. I can't even imagine trying something like that.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he takes it to the extreme. There's no doubt. Next Wednesday for the live show, we are having this woman. Her name is Corey, and she's actually good friends with Lights Over Loveland. And she talks about some of the videos and some of the crazy experiences that she's had with orbs and her communication with them, her channeling them, and everything that has come from that. So that is what's live next Wednesday. It's going to be a fucking banger.
Looking forward to it. I'm always down for some orb talk, some UFOs. That's the one thing that really got me into all of this. So that's always a fun one for me.
Yeah, dude. All right, well, look, let's wrap this baby up. My wife is out there. She's ready to watch the new episode of Love is Blind, so that's what we're doing
There
tonight.
you go, dude. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, dude.
Blue pilling it. But anyhow, look, we love you, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Bye, guys.
Imagine what would have happened if we hadn't attracted the magic we had back when we couldn't fathom. Life is a fantasy, not with the vanity, not the way it was back then. So I grab my pen and write it down like a scripture. Mr. Mystic, making hits for the misfits. The show where you don't know what you don't know when it's on again with Sean and Jonathan. Yeah.